Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GANS plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural balanced energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection, as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists and healthcare centres. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 366th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, February 4th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today. And of course, we are joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, and I think he's raring to go to deliver today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, good morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of Keshe Foundation, the Spaceship Institute, in where we share knowledge and we gain knowledge. Today, we have again, as we had a different pattern last week of teaching, we split the teaching today in 4 clear categories, and we'll go through first a beautiful introduction, an announcement of the Keshe Foundation, KF SSI Institute, Keshe Foundation Manufacturing Austria, and the whole of the knowledge seekers dream which has come true. In the second part, we come to respond for the first time into a letter from a mother from Russia. She has sent a request which is very much in line with the teaching of last week and the present teaching of past months. And then in the third part, after the break, there is a legal notice which the Keshe Foundation has to respond in interaction with the police of Austria and the legal frame of the courts of Austria, which affects not only me personally, but the Keshe Foundation and all the knowledge seekers. We separate this part, and it has to be done. We've done such a thing when we had the case with Sterling. We separated apart that it is important for knowledge seekers around the world, which you have received many emails or texts in the past 7 days, to be put right, because now it's in the hand of the Austrian police and legal frame, which can affect the behavior that you have shown towards it. And on the fourth part, we go through the answer and questions as usual. As some of you know, as I was in Rick's teaching last week, or last Wednesday, yesterday, we made a very tentative touch that a lot of things which the Keshe Foundation was hoping and was working towards to achieve and to be able to bring has brought fruition. And as I always said, for me, as many of you know, I don't work on 13th, but at the same time, I love and believe in 4th of April, February. A lot of things in 4th of February in my life has happened, which has been changing point, turning point, and has brought prosperity and peace to me and in my work. And today is one of them. The Keshe Foundation team, and in conjunction with a number of the Universal Council members of the Keshe Foundation, we have achieved a milestone in many ways. I explained last week and past weeks that the Keshe Foundation will enter a new era in 2021. And my wish is my command. And in that process, a number of contracts has been signed with different organizations, and there are a number of things which are on horizon in the coming weeks and days, which we will explain. There is one small announcement, because we announced it yesterday in a workshop teaching, and some people would like to know a little bit about it. Keshe Foundation has developed a second version of the enhancement unit known as a vertical enhancement, which in the coming days, next few days, maybe a couple of weeks, will go on a trial with the doctors. The new enhancement, vertical enhancement unit is different in many ways from the universal enhancement unit, but is specifically designed for one purpose, and this is to interact with the viruses. And it'll go on the trial, and we immediately release the data as it comes to us on daily basis or weekly basis, what is coming and how it does. If you have a flu, if you have a pig with the new versions of what we call African pig flu and the rest of it, and we will test this, the effectiveness of it, the speed of it, and in so many ways we bring a new dimension. This system needed to be done, especially for our space program, where we have people gathering or collecting what we call energies, which are in interaction with the cells of the body. We can immediately extract. We can immediately bring balance the fields within the body within minutes. This has been a hard work for the Keshe Foundation team, and we will review the videos of it hopefully next Thursday. And it's very much a new development, it's a new technology, and part of it is used and will be used in the enhancement unit, where we will push the enhancement units to become a planetary system. In a way that in entering the enhancement unit, it'll be like you're in a solar system, you're in an eggshell, you're in the womb of the mother, where we'll give you everything you need. Plus, on top, we try and will accommodate the new flight system. If you remember, in opening of the lens exhibition, in testing the system, we said something strange happened we could not explain. We explained to you what has happened. The system was very powerful and went beyond expectation of achieving what was then, and the system physically moved in a position of flight. And in that short time, it shows the effect of it by, in a way, interacting with the UFO which was there, and we said something strange happened. It interacted with the audio system of the exhibition center, which showed us exactly how we brought the American drone down, which does not affect the body of the man. This was expectation, but gathering fields inside it, it brought the condition of what we call field barrier. What did we call it? You can do whatever you like. It was the most beautiful thing we could achieve, because it showed the first thing the system does, it protects itself. If we radiate fields out and creates a magnetic field shielding, and because it's made of the gans state of the matter of the body of the man, it brought protection for all its inhabitants. Even the people in the center were protected. In a way, it showed the power of the technology to be correct in creating magnetic field shielding, which elusively the American forces have had a dread with it, even last year when they lost their bases in Iraq. This is important for us, that it shows the system does not touch the human body and interacts with the fields of it like planet Earth does. Because it's plasmatic, matter stays, shows reaction to it. The body of the man, like the way the sun changes its polarity every 11 years, or Earth changes its polarity every few million years, this happened in the same instance, and it showed to us and to our team that we have developed the most perfect system which supports life, protects life, and holds protection for the environment of the system in the what we call operation. This is one of the reasons we immediately went for the further development, and I left the Keshe Foundation to the research lab, and in that process the new technology of the Keshe Foundation, which will be released through the enhancement units, is a collective full solar planetary system. Creates protection, creates food, creates medicine, creates material as we need it and as we want it. And this we have achieved in a new scientific breakthrough within a research lab of the Keshe Foundation. This is important for us. This brings us to the target of 2021 to be the year of the flight. We have reached out to the Iranian space government for the development of the technology, and we reach out to the American administration, the new administration of Biden, to develop this technology in conjunction with the Keshe Foundation. In this way, we made it possible to leapfrog more or less maybe 50 years of more further work in a short time. This came through only through the sincerity and the work of the Keshe Foundation team in Austria and China. The whole team has worked heavily in the background to make sure the technology is on track, and we will deliver. In so many ways, we have much more news for you. In this process, we have now been able to show the lift and motion through the Keshe Foundation process once we unravel the what we call the vertical enhancement unit. The vertical enhancement unit will be in next to every enhancement unit which is in every position. So when you go into the enhancement unit areas of the Keshe Foundation around the world, you'll see the vertical and the horizontal. Both ways will be available for different application. As I said, we are not one functional structure, we are a multiple structure. And now these are the systems that Keshe Foundation creates, the first space system centers that all of us will learn to live with. And this is one of the best news. We kept inside the Keshe Foundation, it will be kept till it's literally on the table as we tested the last time. The enhancement unit was tested in parts in China with the Chinese scientists. The vertical unit will be tested in another part of the world with the doctors, and the data will be used for the expansion and understanding of the work of the energy packs in the universe. In so many ways, the new vertical enhancement unit will be, and it's much, much more effective in interaction of the fields for what we call viruses in the space technology. And this brings us a lot of joy. I'd like to thank the whole of the Keshe Foundation team in Austria and in China, and all the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers in the background, which one way or another have helped us to achieve and develop this technology. Now we come to maybe one of the most sweetest announcements Keshe Foundation has been striving to achieve for past years of operation. Again, thanks to our knowledge seekers, people who've been around the Keshe Foundation for years, relentless effort of the Universal Council members. Keshe Foundation, as of today, has signed and sealed the contract for establishment and opening of the Keshe Foundation television channel on first time to be shown on 21st of March 2021. This means the Keshe Foundation has independent television channel, 24 hours operation, which allows us for the first time for anyone in the world not only be restricted by other channels which we've been using for all the teachings, and especially two teachings of the Thursday morning and Tuesday afternoons, Universal Council, One Planet, One Nation, One Race, can be shown live and can be on television. We thank the knowledge seekers who have what they call graciously and generously through their organizations have made this possible, and from now on we become global. There is no government, there is no organization in the world which can stop the Keshe Foundation to be reached across this planet by anyone. In a way, we have become a television channel, and we thank the organization, the company who has gifted this system as a what we call donation to mankind. What this brings to us means any of you who run teaching, who would like to show a new development, if you can do it on a standard, go to a television station, or the Keshe Foundation teams around the world can bring your teaching in a what we call program. It'll be shown in the native language on the Keshe Foundation television channel. This will be a 24-hour channel run by the Keshe Foundation, by the knowledge seekers, by education section of the Keshe Foundation, and by what we call the management of the Keshe Foundation as a new media breakthrough. This means we become very much like a Netflix, and we can reach directly without charge. You can reach the television program, even interact and deliver. Many of you knowledge seekers have worked for years and developed. You make a living out of Keshe Foundation. You sell gases, you come up with new versions and new elevations and what we call versions of the plasma technology, and you're selling it in small pieces on your internet. Keshe Foundation, through the advertising of this what we call television channel, now allows you to be seen worldwide. In a way, what we were taken away from by what we call Fox, that Keshe Foundation never be seen, now is freely available. In the next step, the Keshe Foundation will announce in the coming time another development in communication. There is a beautiful advantage with this merger and new contract which is signed. The Keshe Foundation products will be on the television on a regular basis and on what we call the commercial shop channels of the same television station, and in the structure of the work of the what we call the company. This has brought us another point, and that is all the education teaching of the Keshe Foundation will go on the education channel, the school channel of the television too. Which means from now on, teachings like the one Rick does, or Alex does, or has been done by the knowledge seekers in their own language, with a subtitle in English, will be taught in the school live on television. Interaction with the teachers, interaction live across the world, and even we use this system to teach our doctors and scientists what they need to do, and the teaching will be live directly to all those who want to gain knowledge. At the moment you attend the Zoom in the teachings, you can go directly and visually see everything. In a way, from now on, the teaching, the growth, the establishment and the spread of the knowledge is in the hand of the knowledge seekers. How you provide the teaching, how you deliver the teaching in your own mother language will be played, will be released on what we call the spaces we have. There is no limitation. In a way, you teach in Spanish, you make a teaching of how to make, the video of how to make, how you explain in the workshops to make a magrab or whatever, you can show. We deliver it as a teaching. It can be shown on the television channel or on the teaching side. You have conferences, video it, and it'll be shown on a video channel. In so many ways, we have brought a lot of things online the way we wanted to do, and we were blocked. And in so many ways, it is important for many of us to understand that now we entered in what we said when we go global, and we can do. We can show our developments which were restricted by channels like YouTube. We have developed the air system and we all know what its purpose, but we cannot talk about it. Now we can show it, we can explain it. Enhancement units will be walked in, you can see, you can feel. In so many things, in so many ways, when you buy a product, you can see it, you can ask the question from the presenter. Everything becomes real, in real time. And in so many ways, when we have special events, we make it nationally open. This allows us, for the Keshe Foundation television channel, to be known, a freedom to expand, a freedom to share knowledge freely, without condition and without limitation. This allows you knowledge seekers to share your language, your knowledge in your mother language, to the rest of your nation, to the rest of those who speak your language, does not matter where. In so many ways, we opened the channel on 20th of the March, on the anniversary of the beginning of the spring we celebrate together. In so many ways, this is what you wanted. Freedom to teach, freedom to show, and freedom to be correct in showing the new technology. The Keshe Foundation television channel is being a gift to us by knowledge seekers who are powerful in the back, and they can provide such a thing. And it's thanks to Universal Council members who have worked so hard to get this in time to be announced today. The Keshe Foundation teaching team will have to set up a special group for television channel, and through this channel the Keshe Foundation will create revenues that allows the expanded teaching in every country. We have become in so many ways open to public. When the contract was signed in early hours of this morning, it brought back the memories of time when I used to walk through television channels, studios, and in so many ways I know the power of television as I was born within it, and I understood the power of it in the early ages of life. In so many ways, we now have the accessibility to show our technology without restriction, as long as we stay within the guidelines of the international law. In a way, Tuesday teachings, live on One Planet, One Nation, One Race, gives that opportunity of leadership. The Universal Council members broadcast teaching will be live. In a way, they can choose, and they can place themselves in a position where they can show the beauty of the technology, where it can bring mankind into unity. This is what many of you have been waiting for, that we have the freedom to show, we have the freedom to bring, and at the same time, the freedom to be able to let the knowledge seekers teach openly and be heard, not only in German, what we call Corona team, but the German team can provide their own teachings as a television program, and it will be heard. We will bracket into what languages, which time, that the totality does not matter where you are, your language, natives, people can understand it, can understand and connect to it and extend the knowledge. The French team, you are so active, you do farming, make a record video of your farming the way you've done with the wines for past 2-3 years. Make a program out of it, and it'll be shown. The only thing we ask you is keep to the ethos of the Keshe Foundation. From now on, the emergence of the Keshe Foundation worldwide on the television channel, it gives us a different angle to reach. We can show what we do as news. In a way, news cannot be cut off. We developed the technology for handling certain illnesses. We can show it as a news. We don't break any law, but allows the rest of the world to see. The Keshe Foundation television channel allows us to bring the message of peace, and it has to be the background to every work we do. In so many ways, all the conferences and the meetings of the Keshe Foundation can be shown live. And one of the first things we would like to achieve and to show is the new, what we call, lift and motion system, that you can see what you call flight system of the cars, flying cars. This is now in the hand of the team, and in a short while, as we have tested it, once the enhancement unit, the vertical one, is out of the lab and is delivered to the doctors to deliver, to test, then we'll show the flight system. We have no problem in sharing knowledge, but we don't allow people to steal technology. We choose the time and the place to show. The new maglev energy systems for different applications will be revealed to you, and these sessions will be live on the television. That on the Keshe Foundation channel, you can see everything. If you remember, we used to do it on Zoom in Trani and in Barry. Now we do it directly on the television channels around the world, and with it the interactions of whatever might be. I ask you as knowledge seekers, you have made many presentations, you have made many videos. Polish them, bring them to a standard we need, and will be shown. We work on the basis of no, what we call, limitation. We will not censor anything. It will be shown according to what it is, according to what you put it. But understand one point, from now on, the expansion and the teaching of the Keshe Foundation on the television channel of the Keshe Foundation 24 hours a day is in your hand, and try to use it and to make presentations. Make presentations of your own understanding. This brings us to a very important point, which has been one of the dreams of Rick, to get it done and do it properly. What we have as testimonials will become live presentation. In a way, those of you who want to make testimonial records of what you've done, what you have achieved, what has done for you. Now you can use the Keshe Foundation testimonial on the teaching channel. We try to provide 1 or 2 sessions a week of it that you can put up. The golden age of GANs has been the point, or the Keshe Foundation, what we call weekly testimonial sessions, now gets a new shape and form in a way that the people who have done it can speak about what they have achieved, what is done to them, and this brings a lot of trust for people to understand. It's not somewhere in the back, and the Keshe Foundation television channel will be publicized across the planet in every shape or form, which is within the power of the Keshe Foundation. Some of our teachings, some of our programs will be shared with other organizations and other television channels that they can show. For example, when we show the flight system, we will allow other television channels to participate, to take up and to show. This way, we bring the technology in hand and in reach of every nation. I thank the knowledge seekers and the Universal Council members in providing the new platforms for Keshe Foundation. From now on, you will see Keshe Foundation on international platforms, in a way becoming part of the structure of the universal system of the work. Keshe Foundation, from now on, will not be only connected to the Keshe Foundation website, but the management and team of the Keshe Foundation, with the support and help of the Universal Council members, now has expanded the horizon and the reach of the Keshe Foundation by industrial world and by publications. You will see in the coming time the exposure of the publication of the books, in the contract signed, in expanding the what we call presentation of the books on the international arena has already been signed and sealed, and we'll see how it takes shape. We were on Amazon. We'll see how will come to be now that we have the freedom, one of the best sellers, and it's been targeted in that way. We take sureties and the foundation supports that the books are at the reach of every man. In this process, you will see the massive explosion in the coming days and weeks of the publication of the books across the internet. In so many ways, we have opened the Keshe Foundation to public and not limited to those who might by accidentally have come across it. In cooperation and collaboration of many other organizations which we work with, from now on, we promote the establishment of the Keshe Foundation television, the Keshe Foundation television teaching as the students, the Keshe Foundation teaching live, and what we call the commercialization of Keshe Foundation products on the international arena in a different ways. KesheFoundation.org is ranked at a very high level. Even we lost some of our points in the past few months due to rapid and exchange of time. We'll bring the Keshe Foundation ranking to one of the highest. At the moment, we are in a very good position in internet ranking, and then we'll push this ranking to much higher levels with the presentation and connection to many websites. All the mistakes of the past or growth of the past, we forget. Otherwise, it shackles us down. With these new things, the new cycle, with the new instructions, you will see Keshe Foundation across all the big chain stores that will come. In so many ways, we bring the knowledge, the technology, the teaching, and what it does directly as a vertical organization to the foundation and to the knowledge seekers. The Keshe Foundation belongs to humanity and not to me. I'm not the owner, I'm a guardian. And in that process, in a very near future, the whole ownership of the Keshe Foundation will be transferred in the coming weeks to Universal Council and Earth Council. That no one is the owner except the humanity, as the Keshe Foundation Universal Council as a company will be the owner and the sole owner of 50% of shares of the Keshe Foundation itself. The same will be the Earth Council members. This process now has become possible for us, that as I'm getting old and the time for me to travel to the next dimension gets nearer, I hand over everything in the hand of the organizations of the foundation. We take the rights of the United Nations and we give the share to the Universal Council. We take the rights of the voting of managing of the Keshe Foundation from what we call Universal House of Justice to the Earth Council. So the Keshe Foundation stays within itself. I do not accept, I do not agree in any principle of the Baha'i faith, which I was brought in, and I have left the faith due to the misconducts and misrepresentation of the truth. In so many ways, I live through one way, through the ethos of the Keshe Foundation: peace, unity, and bringing balance to humanity. In so many ways, I've been brought up in a mixed culture that I can understand the totality. Those of you who understand it, work with me to bring world peace. Those of you who understand it, work with me to bring what our forefathers fought for so many times, that none of our sons in the future will die with a bullet, that the bullet become one of the shameful things that man ever created. Now, I have given you one of the most powerful tools of communication, not only on the internet, now on the television channels, and then in a more bigger dimensions in the time to come. Let us work together and bring this together, and in so many ways understand one thing. The Keshe Foundation is you. The Keshe Foundation is your children. The Keshe Foundation is the universal community which has brought you so many gifts in progressive development of the human race, and in so many ways the intellect. As I was explaining to one of the knowledge seekers, the way we know a planet has a soul from Earth is that most of the inhabitants do exactly two things. They love and they kiss. Nowhere in the world, in the universe, any creatures make loving so beautiful unless you carry a soul from the man from Earth. Does not matter in what dimension you are, and no one in the world we see men kiss. Transfer love and care to each other. Humans have this habit, and we welcome you into the universal community. In so many ways, we open the next doors and next steps for unification of the human race to the whole family. And this is, as I said, if we strive good, this year we will achieve the ultimate goal. In taking man into a space, in taking man in collaboration and in conjunction with many of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers to the next step of knowledge and understanding. I put my life on this for years. And in so many ways, I took the bullet, I took the bomb, I took the poisoning, and I take the pleasures that it has brought us to this point, that you can all share knowledge from now on in freedom, not with the fear that they might close us down, we cannot speak the truth, or we cannot show what we have developed because some other people have made a decision for them to be their benefit. In communication and consultation with the world leading governments, the Keshe Foundation, as has been interactive, now become very active. In a way, we have to show that we have moved to the next step. And with the presentation and opening of this television channel for the Keshe Foundation, you knowledge seekers will be waiting for it to become open. Now is in your hand. Build it, develop it, work together to make it to the next step. This is what now the mankind knows, till we deliver the next visualization of the reality of life of man in the universe through a new and presentation systems, as you call it, like televisions, but in the dimension of the soul of the man, that you see everything in virtual reality. As I was speaking with Rick and explained in other teachings in the past few weeks, many of you see the global warming as part of the problems of the present time. In the Keshe Foundation, we do not work to overcome global warming. In the Keshe Foundation, we introduce a new technology that does not create any warming, and it's a new technology that by use of it, what mankind has done will be left in the hand of the planet itself to heal itself. With a new technology, we don't create any more damage, and we let the past to be gone by. The automotive industry and everything else which we have created, which has led us to this position, we let it be. We don't fight to find a solution for global warming. We introduce a new technology, GANS plasma technology, that handles the global warming on its own, and it has nothing to do with it. Because the GANS plasma technology is a technology which never damages anything. You saw it in lens. It expands, it protects itself, but all the people within it, because it's made of the ganses, stay the same. There's no harm done. It's a protective technology. In a way, what we have achieved and what we do is an inclusive scientific system and technologies that it touches the soul of the man, the physicality of the man, and the life of the man. What is important to us is that with the new Keshe Foundation technology, plasma technology, we don't worry about the global warming because we don't participate in it. We introduce the plasma technology that with its use in way of traveling, in way of growing, life will be precious and will be expanded than be destroyed. In so many ways, when we can let the plant to produce 3 or 4 times more than is normal because it feels good, it's not for us. It shows the plant feels good. It wants to create more. It wants to create perfect samples of itself. And we've seen it in the test in China. Even the protein level in the wheat increases to the maximum because the plant feels safe, as the fields of the plasma has even given pleasure to live for the plant in its emotion and its cycle of life. In so many ways, the new plasma technology will replace many things which we are used to. But as I said, I've done my job. I put my life for 50 years to complete. Now it's your turn. We hand over the television channel, we hand over the teaching channel of television for you. The teaching organization of Keshe Foundation, you wanted to teach, now you have a platform. The sales section of the Keshe Foundation who wanted to be able to promote and reach other organizations, the channel is yours. You have the freedom, in a way, not just to be on a Keshe Foundation network. Now you have the freedom and the other things which are happening in the background to see the products of Keshe Foundation on every shop floor, on every website. And the team is working in that direction. By showing the technology, people using it will come to the foundation to understand the knowledge and be changed. We taught a long time. We created the technology. Now the physicality brings the soul back to the foundation. And in so many ways, the logo of the foundation has become very simple. This is where the technology meets the soul of the man. And now we have the technology to reach the soul of humanity. And I thank the whole of the Keshe Foundation team, knowledge seekers who've been in the background for years and they just pop up. I've been following you since 2012. Now I want to help you to be understood by the world and to be able to show the technology. And this is a gift we have received from a knowledge seekers who's been around unknown for so many years. As I said, The Keshe Foundation has massive support amongst the elite, the rich, the knowledgeable, and the scientists. And now, as we have shown the Enhancement Unit and the beauty of technology, one by one, they're coming up. They want to share. And it's thanks to many people in the background who facilitate these things. As I always said, we are just a tool for a progressive development of the humanity. In any case, I congratulate all of you knowledge seekers. You wanted a way to be free to teach, to show, and to be able to tell the truth about the technology. Now the television channel is yours. Work with the foundation and teach in your own language. Transfer the knowledge. You do not need to speak English. Make the videos. Teach your fellow language followers what we call the work of the foundation, and it'll be broadcasted. In a way, we have no limitation except what we put on ourselves. You wanted a gift to teach in Portuguese and have the television channel. Now you can send people Keshe Foundation's own television channel and directly to it. They can see it. Timetable will be set, and in conjunction with the help of the knowledge seekers as volunteers, we expand this to see how we can go further. I thank all the people who've been in the background and supporting. I thank especially people like Rick, Stanley, Ella, people like Wagleen and Xiaojin and the rest. Many who came to support us over years, and they have served and they have gone away. People like Renan in Philippines, people like what we see Lisa in Australia. We expand into the South America like China in help we receive from John and many other people, Alex in Canada. We see people now emerging in London to bring the technology directly into the heart of the what we call English community. The Keshe Foundation is an international organization, freely run by the people, for the people, amongst the people. We live in your hearts, not on paper, and it's your job to transfer this love to the rest of humanity. In so many ways, we move to the second part of the teaching, which in fact, it came out of the soul teaching and inspiration across the planet in the past few weeks. We received an email from a mother from the motherland, Russia. And in that process, we will see how the Keshe Foundation knowledge reaches different people in different ways. This email, this message from a mother is touching, but it allows us to explain what is the purpose of humanity, what is the purpose of our soul. I have asked the Keshe Foundation team to put the message we received both in the Russian language and in English translation on the screen. We would like Rick, if you could read it for us, and then we go into the process of explanation, trying to answer a mother with their emotion and the feeling and the soul, and what is the destiny of man. Rick, could you please put this on the screen and read it for us? And if we have a Russian-speaking language person in the background, please raise your hand and read it in the mother language first or second.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I do know that in the YouTube, there's a Russian person who's asking, does anyone know how to translate in real time into Russian for the first time? So there is someone on YouTube, maybe they could come to the Zoom meeting here and actually act as a translator, perhaps. Okay, let me begin.
Can you put it on the screen, please?
Oh, yes, sorry, I've got it up, but I didn't share it yet.
Yeah.
There, you should be able to see that now. So we have the Russian on the top. And
let me explain. We have messaged the writer that she'll be answered today. So she's present amongst us, and we hope we'll be able to answer in a way that she understands and pleasures the life of her daughter. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yes, she starts the letter, "Dear person reading this letter, I ask you to hand it over to Mr. Mehran Keshe. It is very important for me. With gratitude, ED." So we use the initials ED here. "Hello, dear Mr. Mehran Keshe. Let me tell you a little about myself. My name is ED. I am 54 years old. I was born and lived in Russia, in the city of Volgograd. I am an architect by education. My only and beloved daughter, Maria, who was 23 years old, died during a surgical operation. The whole world has faded for me. Life was divided into before and after. I suffer a lot. The 5th year has passed since the tragedy, but I cannot accept it. All that interests me, the whole meaning of my life, is now to understand the true structure of the universe and life in it. Dear Mehran, I understand that you are a very busy person, and most likely you will be surprised at my letter, or maybe you will not read it at all. No one can answer my questions because people either have a religious outlook or do not believe in anything at all. Not so long ago, I accidentally met with your concept of the structure of the universe. Everything you talk about is very close to me and responds to my heart. I also think that it is simply impossible to live the way we all live now. This is a complete impasse and degradation leading to destruction. You have come to unraveling the biggest mystery, the origin of human life. Please answer the mother who knows no rest. What is there beyond? What we still live? Will I meet my daughter? Why do we live? What is the meaning of our appearance in this world? I would be very grateful if you answer me. Unfortunately, there are no books of yours in Russia, and how wonderful it would be. I want to share with you, I myself made plasma water based on your lectures. Unfortunately, I do not speak English, and it is a little difficult to get information through an automatic translator. You and your team are doing a great job to save life on Earth. Thank you very much. What a happiness it is to realize that there are people who think not only about their own skin and money, but also about the development and prosperity of all mankind, who have risen above everything petty and secondary. People really need you. There are a lot of unhappy mothers like me who have lost their children. They suffer a lot and want to know the truth about life and death. How much better our life would be if we knew this truth. I wish you and your team health and well-being. Best regards, ED.
Do we have a Russian speaking or anyone who can translate to Russian?
If one of our attendees can do that, you can put up your virtual hand and we can recognize you, and you can go ahead.
Any of the Romanian or the Bulgarian who speak Russian? Do you you see anyone, or we go in English?
I don't know if anyone here could speak Russian. We have the usual people that we know about.
This is the time when you miss. This is the time when you miss Sandor. Huh?
Could probably handle that. The only name that kind of comes up is there's a Boris here, Boris Jerzik, but I don't know if that's necessarily Russian. That would be a long
Russian,
shot.
no problem. Hopefully, somewhere we'll be able to translate this to Russian and put it on the net for the mother to listen to, that it can be translated. The Russian Keshe Foundation team in the background is very active, but for reasons they know, especially in the scientific world, they do not interact with the foundation due to the instruction and the work of their government. This letter brings a lot of memories. It's not only the mothers who lose when one of us crosses over to the dimension of the soul. The fathers suffer the same. Brothers, sisters feel the same. The loss of life, or what I call crossing a crossover, it's a painful experience if it is your child or your sibling. In so many ways, what happens to us at the point of conversion of the physicality to the dimension of life of the soul of the man? It's not that the loss can be physical. The loss can be by not being able to reach, to touch, to smell, to kiss your child. It's the same. And the punishment for those who create this condition is so worse than killing. In so many ways, when someone loses and crosses the line of life, what happened to us? First of all, we have to understand there are 3, maybe 4 different ways to lose life. We lose by accident, the way we've seen with this mother. We lose through age, and we lose through conditions that our physical body cannot take the condition where the emotion overtakes the physicality. I lost my brother this way at the age of 47. Just a stroke. I know the pain, and as the mother writes, I mourned for him for more than 7 years. The loss of the father and the mother did not have the same feeling, but the sibling, and the way, as many of you know, I lost my son for months. I don't know if he's alive or dead, thanks to animal behavior of humans. In so many ways, what happened to our soul? What happened to our next stage of life? What happens when you move to the next level? How come that a stage appears where the energy package, what we call the plasma of the soul of the man, loses or frees himself or itself from the shackle of what we call physicality. In so many ways, what happened to us as human beings? Is death only for mankind, or is death a cycle of one life and the beginning of the other, a pattern of existence in the universe? The answer is yes. The only soul which has lasted the life of the creation is the creator soul, and the rest are in the process of conversion and diversion and amalgamation and division and the rest of it. So no one has ever lasted the whole process of their life through the whole process of the creation from the time of the beginning of time, except the creator and his soul. So in so many ways, what happened to us, and why do we need these conversions to become from one to another, to become from the physical life to the soul? And why do we go through these processes? In so many ways, if you look at it, maybe you can look at a new dimension, a new angle in life. We are like a cup of water in a cup. We are poured from a cup into a bigger pot, maybe. And then we pour this pot into a bigger container. So, in fact, the cup is the same, the water is the same at the origin. Only now it has to interact with a bigger dimension. It has to interact with more waters of different cups which are poured into this first container, and then the next container becomes again a cage for the same water from the cup, but in the bigger dimension. This is what happens to the soul of the man. In the departure from the point of interaction with the physical dimension plasma of the soul of the physicality, we are freed in this dimension of the soul to a bigger dimension of the universe. And in the maturity in that point, we become to part of the life of the unicos, and then we become part of the bigger container, which is more freedom to interact in what we call the container of the love of the creator. In so many ways, nothing happens as such, except that once we have seeded, our soul allows to grow. And in behavior and the conduct of a seed, it will be allowed to grow into spaces of galaxies. It is allowed to grow into the space of the universes, and then it becomes part of the process of the creator soul. But what happens in this process, we gather more to realign, to reach, to understand the balance of the fields of the creator, that when we become part of the fields of the creator, we become perfect like him, because we are part of his structure and totality. So, in a way, when man leaves his physical body and takes flight in the dimension of the soul of the man, man enters and takes position instead of being in the center of the brain of the man and encaged by the brain and the skull. Now it moves in the freedom of maybe a galaxy, a bigger span. It becomes the seed of the sun. Then in its strength and interactions become the seed of the universe. Then in interaction and in part of his work, the way the amalgamation of the fields and the division of the fields become part of the fields of the Creator. In a way, our soul does not stop growing. It does not stop expanding and gathering more fields, the way as we started at 2 small fields in the egg and the sperm of the mother and the father. We gathered energy, we became the body of the man and the soul of the man. We gathered energy, we went through the cycle of life in the dimension of the earth, and now we go through the next birth into a bigger dimension. In reality, the life of the soul of the man never ends unless you have committed crime. And that crime is judged by the soul of the man, not in the courts. Not done by the man's soul himself. In so many ways, even the time of the departure, even the time of accident of the death is all set by the time and interaction of the fields of the universe. In so many ways, nothing is accidental. Everything has a reason from the interaction of the souls of the past and what the souls have to deliver in the future. There is a very much, it's like you are supposed to be at a movie as a given time and given place, and the seat has been paid for, and you're going to be there because the loved ones you love are waiting for you on the seats and the chairs next to you or in the cinema. Life of the man is nothing but the show. In manifesting itself, to show itself, be it in the womb of the mother as a, what they call the fetus, be it in the physical dimension of the physicality of the man as a human, be it life in the presence of the unicos and the universe, and then in the presence of the Creator. In so many ways, we are part of the same show, but depends how far you are from the Creator that you become from a speck of dust to a unicos and part of itself. How much do we walk to the front to be near, close to the screen? In so many ways, do we see our loved ones? Yes, they are. Yes, we will. It's part of the process. We lose the physicality, but in the dimension of the soul, our children, our siblings, our parents, our friends who we have interacted with, they become part of us in a new family which we take and we develop. When we were egg and sperm, it was just who's next to us to become more. We came out, we made friendship with more, we called them brothers and sisters, and mothers and brothers, and everything else we call. And now when the soul of the man goes to a bigger dimension, has a bigger family, has a bigger dimension of interaction, where the love of those who gave to him, it becomes part of him, and it becomes the impression of what he makes in his future life. What you took from the womb of the mother and what you took from interaction of the fields of your ancestors became you. Every cell of you is an impression of their lives, the color of your skin, the color of your eye, the shape of your kidney, the shape and the way you love. It's all been transferred and mixed, and you're that mixture. Now when we go to another dimension, it's the same again. We take those cells in the memory of love and connections with us. In a way, we never separate from our loved ones. We never separate because we are always in interaction. One man, when he passes through the line of the plasma of the physicality in the dimension of universe, you will feel the son, you will feel your daughter. You are in a way in connection and dimension of love and care without physicality. Your soul recognizes the soul of the daughter or a son or a brother because you created it. It was created in the same house, in the same womb, from the same father. And so we never get to the point that we do not see our loved ones. Maybe in the physicality we will not, but in the dimension of the soul, we are in the same household. They are us and we are them. We love them and they love us. And that love, as I said, the beauty of the life on earth is the love which connects man. And in that process, we understand more that there is a purpose for life. There is a purpose in serving, to bringing more together, that with it we become part of the Creator, that we can give and serve more. In so many ways, what's the use of harming when you can love? What's the use of destroying when you can make? What's the use of hating when you can love? And all that adds up to collection of the fields that your soul will give and will take and will dictate its position in the universe, in its next step of growth, in its new home. There is no cage, but a bigger expansion of the environment. In a way, in my teachings, when we say, and I always say, this village of the earth, this is a village of the earth for the soul of the man, not for the physicality of the man. In going and expanding to become part of the soul of the universe, to becoming part of a galaxy, you expand, you understand more, you see more, you understand a new way. And with it, you deliver and you bring about the condition for the others to show themselves, for other souls to interact, to develop themselves into the next step. There are a lot of mysteries in what happens to our soul on this departure. This was made by religions. In so many ways, if you go back and understand the totality, mankind could dictate its position of where he wants to be as a soul in earlier times, when he could understand the totality of his work, the totality of the work of his soul in the dimension of physicality. Many of you, many times, try to connect with your mothers and your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, your sons and daughters. You don't need to connect. You are already connected. They are part of you, and it's you, by feeling the loss, have created that barrier. Welcome them. In a way, the way you welcome them on their birth, the way you kissed and cuddled them as brothers and sisters. The cycle of life in the dimension of physicality is just a mirage. It's just interaction of the fields. It's just a phase of transition. And in essence, when you have created a magnetic field, like a magnet on the board, and with another magnet on the board, the connections are never lost. It's you, through the pain of suffering, which creates that separation. Rejoice the life. Never mourn, as the mourning brings nothing but separation. When you mourn, you become gravitational, and in a way you pull where the body of the man, the soul of the man cannot steal. Let the soul of the man to be free, and with it you find the freedom. In so many ways, pray for the soul of your loved ones and the ones you love, that they take what they need from you, that in a position they find comfort and peace, that they will be with you one day, and you will feel them in the dimension of the soul of the man. I do that every day with my lost son, and one day he will come back. I do that with my brother, and one day he will come back. I see him, I feel him every day. try to reverse the process. Elevate the souls that they find peace. Elevate their souls that those with evil minds have no position and connection to them, that they find their freedom. In so many ways, one has to understand very simply, why do we come to these positions of leaving our physical dimension? Why do we come to a position that we have to go through this experience? What are we to learn from it? Detachment or attachment? What is the purpose of life? Why some parents yearn to die to be with their lost child? Why don't the parents raise the soul of themselves in a correct way, that by raising the soul of their children, the soul of their life, that they always are together? Do not look for a physical confirmation. Go to your soul and find peace and connection through the soul. In a way, connect to the emotion of the soul, that your child will be with you, the loved one is with you. You don't feel the loss. The joy is that you are always together, even in the subconscious of feel of the life of the man. Never feel they have left you, because in a way they never left you. They're always connected to you. They take from you in the dimension of the soul, and you give to them in the dimension of the soul. The only problem with man is the dimension of physicality, that he has to see and feel that he believes. And many times, many of you say, I have not seen, I do not feel. The feeling of the soul is separated from the feeling of the man. And it takes maturity of the time. And in reality, the soul brings you to the point to be able to understand one's emotion and one's devotion to another soul. Never try to reach out, to be in touch with the soul. Does not matter about the stage. Always think in one direction, that you praise the soul. You give from your soul, that it finds peace and elevation. And in that process, by giving, you find peace and elevation. That maybe what connection you have in the soul level with your child will manifest to the dimension of physicality that gives you the peace of mind, the peace of soul. In the coming situations and the development of the technologies which you will see in the enhancement unit, we create that condition. It is very easy. In so many ways, through the structure of the soul of the man, the soul of DNA and RNA of the man, we can connect to every soul that the man wants to be connected, and he has a connection from it. In a way, we connect the souls in the dimension of non-physicality, and it's not that when you go into the system, you'll be elevated to see whatever you lost. In a way, you elevate to see the truth within yourself. In a way, in how you want to connect. There is a very simple understanding. Do you dream of your child? Do you dream of your son? Do you dream of people who are passed on and they have taken a new dimension in the life? If you do, it means you are connected to them. It means you are in touch with them, but in the dimension of the soul of the man, not in the dimension of the physicality of the man. And this is what mankind has to understand. Never wish that I go to sleep and I have a dream and I see him, elevate his soul, day and night, that he chooses to come to you. Does not mean physically, but in the connection of the realm of what we call dimension of the plasmatic fields of interaction. In so many ways, you can be aware and you're in touch with your son and daughter, but you do not feel it in dimension of physicality, because The soul of the man is at peace. He knows I have, I am. But the biggest pitfall with mankind is vision. He has to see, become blind to physicality, become deaf to physicality, and then become deaf to the smell of physicality, and you find the dimension to the dimension of the creator in the dimension of the soul. In so many ways, what happens to you when you're in coma? The soul is still here, but not in touch with the physicality. Exists, operates, and does everything else, but not with physicality. But it still exists in its own dimension, in a trap of life of physicality, but has not taken position and possession to leave the physicality in the dimension of the soul. And in real life, in reality, our soul, in respect to our physical dimension, most of the time of its operation and communication is in coma. It works inside with itself, with the souls, but we are not aware of it in the dimension of physicality. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's there, it supports life, and it's within the structure of the man. But it chooses to work and communicate in a different dimension than in the dimension of physicality. Mankind has to become more educated to understand life is only a transition point. My cycle of life has been here for thousands of years and is completed. I know the time of my departure. I know the way I depart because I chose. And it will happen in the time and the place. I have no sorrows. In a way, I have done my work. I have done what I came here for. And in that process, I met many souls. I met the soul of Christ. I met the soul of Jesus and Moses. I slept and ate with many of those you dream of, as I am part of their souls. And the time for me has come to depart. In so many ways, I have to complete the last phase to lead to the creation of the new cycle for man and the universe. And my job is done, because I know my soul become part of the totality of the soul of the Creator, and it'll create more. In so many ways, there is no end to the cycle of life. As I become the part of the soul of the Creator, I become radiate and become part of the soul of another creation in the time and dimension. In so many ways, I will not forget my child or my brother when I was in cycle of man, as its field interaction of his life and the soul is within me and becomes part of me and part of my creation. And in so many ways, we never end. We just see and feel another phase, but in totality, the phase of the creation never changes. It's just the position and dimension, and which part of it we want to remember, which part of it we want to be part of, at what point and one position. In so many ways, now that we have shown and we have taught you how to be able to control the dimension of the physicality through the strength of the soul, many of you will detach from physicality. Many of you will live in a different dimension of life as you choose, but does not mean that you'll be with your son or your daughter or whatever. Because to go into that phase, it needs maturity of the time of the soul. If once, just now, because that you have managed to be able to pass your soul from the dimension of your physicality and travel the span of the universe, does not mean that you'll reside next to your son and daughter. But it means you have a bigger and stronger connection with all the lives you have been in field connection in the past and in the future. We did not appear out of nowhere. We are amalgamation of the fields of what was once the sun. and what was once the fields of the universe which created the sun, and one was the type of the unicast that it led to the creation of the universe. We are division of a division of many divisions, and in so many ways, when we become free from the dimension of physicality, in the nursery of the physicality of the body of the man, we become free to become part of another structure. Life never ends. Life is for eternity, because life is part of the eternal cycle of the fields of the Creator. In so many ways, the water you drink, it becomes part of you for a while, and then it becomes part of the where you drank and you collected it from the beginning. You were just a vessel to show the beauty of it in the shape of the body of the man. And this is exactly what the life is. We go through cycles, we manifest ourselves as part of the fields, maybe of the cell of the hand, maybe a cell of the eye, maybe as the energy of a photon to reach to another part of the body to transfer energy and information, and it's gone. And now becomes part of totality. Try to understand. No man ever, as a body of the man, lived forever, but every man has lived as part of the soul forever. It depends on you in how you would like to interpret or detach. None of you will ever remember Earth, where you came and your soul was created out of, but you will carry the emotions and love of Earth, the way it interacted with the fields of you as a soul and led to your creation. Loving is not the exclusivity of humanity. Loving is the soul and the only soul and the purpose of the creation and the Creator. With love, we spread, and with it, we deliver the emotions of the creation. As it said, I made you in the image of myself, and the Creator has only one image to give and nothing else. The rest is out of the interaction of what he gets, and in a way, as different field strengths interact from the source of his creation, become emotion, become physical man, the tree, the plant, the stars and the galaxies and the universes. In essence, we are connected at the end of the string of the field, the strength of our soul, to the Creator, and we are part of it. So we never die. In essence, never ends, as is all in the same container of the love and the creation of the Creator. In so many ways, life is very easy. If mankind understands that he is in transmutation of the fields of the energy and life. As it's been said, man matures when he understands the transmutation of the energies, as life is nothing but energy from one to another, and one cycle to another, to manifest itself for a time, be it years in the life of the man, years in the life of the solar system, and the rest. In essence, we never died, and in essence, we never been born. In essence, we are part of the regeneration and the regurgitation of the field of the body of man. We just been regurgitated. We go from one field to another, and we manifest ourselves in different positions and places. In all my teachings, in all past years of teachings for thousands of years on this planet, there is one thing which we have learned from mankind. Mankind is kind. And the only problem with mankind is that he is not kind to himself. And that is where he has got lost in the process of understanding the process of creation and how he will create. In so many ways, we never lose our children. We never got lost from our parents. And in a way, as long as you can dream, and you can see your dreams. Does not matter if you see your children, your father or your brother in your dream or not. It means we are connected to the dimension of the creation and are somewhere there, busy with their lives. In a way, as I explained once, in a very cruel way, but in a very beautiful way. We bring our children up on this planet. We let them go to the next house, to the next village, to the next town, to the next country, to prosper, to have children, and to have a better life. In so many ways, we do the same with the soul of our children. We let their souls to travel, but not in the dimension of the next street and next village and next city or next town or next country, but in the dimension of the next galaxy, next universe and the rest of it. How often do we see our children who live in the same city as us? How often do we meet our children who live in a different country than us? It's the same. They have their lives. They have their structure. They are busy with what we created them to do. And so when they pass through the passage of physical life and they take their position, they have their own business. They have their own structure of interacting in their new life. Do you know all the friends and the lovers of your children? Do you know every food they eat? If they have time, they call home. Mama, I'm okay. Mama, I had this. Mama, I did that. It's the same with our souls. When our souls leaves the dimension of physicality and it takes in position and a position of the new dimension, it's busy with itself. Does not mean that everything is wrong when we don't hear, but in fact, our son is thinking, I love you, mother. I learned this cooking from my mom. How many times you've been with him when he teaches his child or his wife or his lover or his friends, I cook bread the way my mother did. But the mother is not there. But the memories and the beauties of what the mother has seeded in him has ended up with making that bread that he shares with the others. You're not aware of when he speaks about you and how you taught him to make the bread. It's the same. When our soul leaves the dimension of physicality, it's busy with its own. Just because we cannot see him every day or talk to him every day, doesn't mean he has forgotten about us. It has a reason. It's creating. It's busy with a new dimension in life which has taken place in its cycle of life. So, understand one point. One day, you might feel his presence, but seeing him is impossibility. As he has, in a physical dimension, has taken a new shape and a new place, a new clothes, a new friends, a new lifestyle. Listen to the teaching. I always say, what does your soul will create? What do you think about the grandchildren you have in the physical life? But what about when he passes on? The children that he creates in the span of universe are your grandchildren. He's busy with them. He's setting a life for many other souls. So don't ever suffer that is gone. Be joyful that it has led to creation of a new cycle of life. That one day when he has time, when he's taken the position and time, will be that he will come back and remember Mama and makes that call. Don't wait for that call. Praise him that wherever he is, he elevates the souls that he's interacting with. In so many ways, never look for a physical interaction. Understand the beauty of the creation and how this cycle will change for all of us. How many of you know the soul of your great-great-grandfather or mother? You never met them. They don't exist, but in essence they are within you. Their soul, a fraction of their soul, has been embedded in you and your siblings and siblings to come. But in essence, you still are blind to their existence within you. They are within every cell of you. The first man's soul is within the body of every one of us, because it has left the memory of it. That's how it knows it's a human. In so many ways, mankind has to learn that in the interaction of the soul of the man, the physicality is irrelevant. It's us who chooses the beauty by sight and not by the truth with the soul of the what carries that beauty. This is what I always said. Never fall in love with a skin deep. Fall in love with the soul. Then you understand. Many of you who've been around me are always spoken about the twin soul. The twin soul is where you share your life and where you share the soul and understanding of it, till that soul decides to take a new dimension, a new direction. None of us owns, but all of us interact. In so many ways, the dimension of the soul of the man is twinned with many souls. The children, the grandchildren, coming in so many processes in understanding more of. I'm waiting to see my granddaughter. I know within the next few days she'll be born. What will she carry from me? What will she carry in the essence of my soul in her soul? The only thing we can do is to give that the passage of life from the womb of the mother to the dimension of physicality will be a safe one. My son has a birthday on the 6th of February. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's happy or sad, but I pray for him. I give from my soul, because I put a lot of love in looking after him, making connection with him. And in that process, we make connections, we build that connections. And in that process, we share what we call love, which is we want to give, but we hope it'll be received. In so many ways, we never die. And in so many ways, there is no death in the universe. Many cultures never mourn but celebrate the death, which means the passing and elevation of the soul, not the loss of the soul. You got to understand, mankind soon, very soon, with the new technologies and understanding of himself, will become to understand the process of the creation. In a very simple way, we blow the fields of the universe within the soul of the man for it to become mature to understand this process. We need to understand that even our life as our forefathers and our children is a transition of the fields within the structure of the environmental universe, and then unicos. And in so many ways, as I always said, we are a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck of dust from one of the specks of the fields of the love of the Creator. My answer to you as a Russian mother, Chinese mother, or in any shape of nationality, or a mother from any corner of the universe is simple. You're always with your child, and at the same time, you're part of him or her as she is part of you, and as you are part of your forefathers. We are all a transition vessel or collection of fields. Sometimes it has creation and emotion, and sometimes it's a field flows within the span of universe, and sometimes it becomes the soul in the condition of its environment to be a stone, or to be a cell of a wind, a matter in that wind, and the energies which moves that wind. In fact, we are all a transition of fields. And the only point for humanity is to understand this, that we are part of the plasma which is enveloped by another, and enveloped by another, and enveloped by another. We call it the body of the man, the planet Earth, the solar system, the galaxies, and the rest of it. We are always there, but we are part of. And in a way is how much we gather to be a bigger part in a bigger dimension, or we stay in this back of us as we never learned to love. In a way we never learned. I made the man in the image of myself. I gave, and the man has to give. And once you learn that detachment, man will grow. Humanity is nothing but name for a transition of time, of collection of the fields where the interaction creates manifestation of physicality only to the eye of those who can see and they feel the strength of the earth. And those who manifest themselves and they feel the strength of the earth and no more. In so many ways, as I always said, when I pass the street and I see a hearse with a coffin in it, I always say, take from me that you find your position in the universe. Does not matter what you have done in your life, where your dimension of the soul and physicality stays in balance with those who you have done wrong to or they've done wrong to you. In so many ways, praise the soul of your enemies, that by praising and giving to them, they find peace. At least they are not enemy with the dimension of their own physicality and their own soul. Let those who burn with the fire of hate to carry it with themselves, and let those who burn with the fire of love spread it around the universe. Be those who give and never take, and be those who, like me, serves without condition and takes all the pains which comes with it. Because in a way, it allows the others to live, and in so many ways allows their soul to expand, to understand their own existence. Life of a man is not short. Man has made his life short. If you understand the beauty of it, as I always said, especially in past few weeks, I have found peace and happiness. And my peace and happiness has become a problem for those who always kept it in turbulence, because by taking from me, they could confirm they exist. And in so many ways, in finding peace, we find changes in the dimension and direction of our life. As I said, I have found peace, and I don't allow no one to disturb it. I have found happiness in a way I can share my knowledge with the people who can benefit by it, and they can spread it and evolve it. Happiness to me is being able to share freely without suffering. Happiness and peace to me is being able to give unconditionally, and it's for those who want to take from it, take what they need, but they can't take all of it. I have found peace. I have found what I call collective understanding of how to bring the balances of what it needs to be done to deliver to humanity, that I can take that step to leave the dimension of physicality. I've never been attached to life. I've been so detached, and that detachment has brought me many, many insights. And in so many ways, attachment is not a clothes, it's not a shoe you wear. Detachment comes from what you can give even to your enemies. You got to understand, many of you would have never stood a second of what I have been through to bring mankind to this point. And we even seen it in past 7 days. But I still pray, I still give to their soul. It means they need love, and they need the belief and the life of the Creator. In a way, why do they cry? Why do they do all this? Because they want the love which they had, they could not appreciate back, but it's gone. Because now is expanded to the knowledge and to the love and the time of the creation, and in a way to bring peace to many of others. Because when the love has been there, was never appreciated and abused. In so many ways, why do we cry to get back? Why do we go and destroy when we don't have? Because we realize what the beauty we had and we lost it through the misconduct. We lost it through misunderstanding. We lost it through accident. Either way is not there anymore to be. And fighting for it, to get it back, to see our child, to feel again, is in vain. Because that energy has to go in the process of development, of nourishing a new cycle of life with the others. The creation and the creator never stops. Does not matter if a planet explodes or a galaxy hits another, or billions of lives change position, because he gives and he knows all these interactions will have a benefit, will create a new life. And in that process, the division of energies become a new life in the totality of everything else that man has ever imagined. My answer, not only to this mother, to many of you who have lost loved ones, and many of you finding the solution or the answer through the teaching of the Keshe Foundation of the Soul Teaching, is simple. The soul of our loved ones is with us, but busy with their own work. The way you send a package of food, or you send a cake which your son loves by post to him from Russia to New York or to Africa, do the same. But this time, instead of the package of the cake, make a package of love and send it to the soul through the media of the interaction of the fields, and it'll be received by him. It'll be consumed by him, and he'll remember the mother, even though he might not call to thank you, because once he opens, he knows the mother loves, and the love has delivered. Don't look for physical delivery that I could hold and kiss, but believe and understand that those kisses and gifts can be delivered in the dimension of the soul. We are always with them, and they're always with us, as we always been with our forefathers and shall be thereon. Never mourn, because if you do that, when you become a star and something happens to one of the planets, how much more can you cry? As I said once, why do we get the black spots on the surface of the sun? Is it mourning for what he has created is doing to itself in different positions of its solar system? Or is these black spots mourning for the forefathers at what they've done, that is in this position, that he has created such a life on earth full of pain and misery? Is the veil of darkness in trying to give more, as we call and we know about the black hole, that they might change? They feel the strength of his siblings like Earth and the others, that they might progress the way we send the package of love to our children, that they might enjoy the time and they might change. The soul of the man, once created from interaction of the fields, the way it itself was created decades before from interaction of other fields, never dies. Just rejoice that you were there to give life to it. Rejoice that you were there to share with it, and rejoice that it has found a place to create perfect children. That is, its creation carries the memory of what he carried from you into the next generation in the dimension of the universe and unicos. Death, separation of the physicality from the soul, is limitation of the understanding of the man. And that's all. How do we enjoy the presence of children In physicality, we have to enjoy the presence of the souls in all dimensions. And maybe one day we mature enough to understand that as we created and we're being created, as we create the new cycle, would they be part of us the way we want it? Or would they take a new shape as they correct the misconduct of us? But one thing remember, we create, and in that creation there is the wisdom of the Creator, and that's all that matters. How we share this wisdom, and with how many trillions and billions, the planet, the star, or just a child. The love for all is the same from the Creator. I hope I managed to answer the mother in Russia, the father in Arizona, a man in Linz, that we all feel the loss and we all wait for the reunion. But in fact, we have never been separated. But it's us, by elevation of the soul, will feel and carry the memories, which is the life with us, with them, and through us and with us. One day mankind will become wise to understand there has never been a death, there shall never ever be a death, as if the death is in true, there would have been no creation, as the Creator would have not existed. In so many ways, never worry about or miss what is the soul you have created, as it has its own life, and we are there just to create that soul. And our job is transmutation and transportation, and we are nothing but the deliverer of love and soul to our loved ones, and the ones we will love. I hope I have managed to answer it in a very deep way, but opening your eyes to many dimensions and facets of creation and the soul. What we have created, not being visible to us, does not mean that it doesn't exist. But in fact, it might exist better than, have a better dimension and life than what we could imagine for. We, if it's okay, take a break and we come back. And I do apologize for what is going to be done after the break. It's important matter. It can touch the foundation, and it's a legal procedure which, with the advice of the police of Austria and not lawyers, we have to explain. Otherwise it brings the Keshe Foundation, and personally me, the Keshe Foundation manufacturer in Austria, and many of the knowledge seekers into the criminal position that, as I look after my family, I look after all of you, is my responsibility to protect you from what has been set to destroy the Keshe Foundation by those who are planning and working on it for some years. And now it is out of our control, and it had to be done this way because we have to explain it. It will be a very short position because there's certain criminalities taking place around the foundation which we have to protect, and with the advice with the police of Austria and the lawyers, we have to keep the foundation clean and clear from this point. Thank you very much. Can we go through the break, please?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I'll note also that there is a couple of Russian-speaking individuals in the YouTube chat who connected with each other and have decided to translate today's teaching into Russian with subtitles for a video. So that was a nice result that came out of that. And
can we ask them when it's done to be placed in a position in the Keshe Foundation with the IT that the mother can listen to, and for any other Russians?
Yes, that would be great. And also I've invited them into the Zoom chat here as well. So they could even read the Russian text if we wish to.
Can we do it now before we go into the break? Is that available?
I don't know if they've made it in yet. Either one of they said they would try to get into the Zoom, so it's dependent on their systems and so on. And let me see if any of the names are familiar here. I don't see them yet.
Maybe so they come in after the break.
Yeah, possibly.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. So just to let everybody know again, we'll be back in a few minutes after this intermission. This is the 366th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Thanks, everyone.
Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GAN's plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced, energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists and healthcare centres. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
Okay, welcome everyone. We're back to our show here, the 366th Knowledge Seekers Workshop on Thursday, February 4th, 2021.
Thank you very much, Rick. Have you managed to find the Russians to translate?
Let me have a look if we have any new people coming in. They do send... They say, thank you very much for your answer, Mr. Keshe. I wish you and your team good health and happiness with love from Russia.
Pardon? You received the answer?
In YouTube. That's.
What does it say?
Well, they say, thank you very much for your answer, Mr. Keshe. And I wish you and your team good health and happiness with love from Russia. I think that was the name of a James Bond book from Russia.
Yes, exactly what was going through my head. Exactly the same instant as you were reading
kind of
it.
The same vintage. It shows our age.
It shows our age. I wonder which gun and which woman, as they say with the James Bond. Huh?
Let me see. I'm still trying to see if they might have come in here. If there is someone, we do have Salomea, who's
does she know fluent Russian?
She's taken, she says, 3 years of Russian in school. So I sent her the file, and I'm not sure if she's still here or can do that.
Maybe she's busy reading it. We have a number of Romanians and Slovenians and people from Bulgaria in the background, but I don't know if they speak. The olden days they had to speak the Russian, but the new generation does not. Could understand.
If there is someone that's able to do that now, then they can put their hand up here as an attendee, and we can allow you to speak. That would be the best way to do it.
That'll be perfect. Thank you very much. There's something which I will go back to in the first part of announcements. The knowledge seekers teaching, which was done in training for 12 weeks, 5 days a week in 2 sessions, which was the basis of the teaching of the Keshe Foundation, will be one of the first things which will be loaded on the teaching channel of the new television, what we call a student channel. Then in those, with somewhere we have spoken about the soul and that kind of thing. And so the original teachings, which was done on a more or less a blackboard, whiteboard in Trani Lim University, will be one of the first things which we put on the internet of what you call it, in the new television channel for students. If you have any favorite teachings which you wanted to be aired on the new television, please let us know. And we are looking for an intro video to be made by next week. If you know how to do it, and whatever the Keshe Foundation team will do, to be loaded on the new site of the Keshe Foundation television channel till the opening day, as an intro to introduce the Keshe Foundation. This has to become a collective collaboration of all the knowledge seekers around the world. The Chinese, the Americans, the Brazilian, the Mexican. This channel is yours. You have to run it. You have to bring the material for it to be able to share the knowledge with everyone, irrespective of the religion, color, race, language, or nationality. Thank you very much. As I said before, the break and at the beginning of it, Keshe Foundation has become aware of a fraud and a scandal that by reporting this to the police authorities of the Austria, and the case has been taken to the prosecutors of the Austrian structure, we've been advised to inform you that we do not get involved in it and we are not part of it. The scam has started more or less as of last Thursday after the teaching. We do not know who's behind it, and the allegations are very straight direct towards me for character assassination. In the first batch of number of these allegations which has been released, both me and my ex-wife confirmed the lies and no truth in them. In these allegations, by whoever is behind it, and then because they have created the first, they think, damage, they add to it. Allegation is that since the separation of me and my ex-wife, she has received no funds, she has no money to live, she has no fuel, she has no heating, and she has no home, and a lot of other these allegations. And how can a Messiah speak about unity of man when he doesn't look after his family? Both me and my ex-wife and the police of Austria, in checking the document of the banking and the transfers, and the lawyers of the Keshe Foundation confirmed the following. My ex-wife has never been put alone. She has received the sum of €2,000 cash per month in hand in her banking system, where the bank statements have been delivered to the police and the prosecutor of Austria. Her rent has been fully paid. All the bank statements have been submitted. The heating, the car insurance, and everything else which this allegation has made is all false, because the bank statements and transfer of the money shows that my ex-wife has received on average between $3,600 to $3,800 per month, covering all her expenses. In fact, what we know, this is not true, this allegation, is that it speaks about how can somebody live with his child and wife with no heating. My child is not in Austria, so cannot be with my ex-wife, and it shows these people deliberately set out to character assassinate with this lie. In reality, my ex-wife receives before tax from me at the present time something in the region of €70,000 and equal to about $85,000 annually at this moment of time. In reality, all these documents has been given to the police of Austria to confirm that the lies, and the accounts of my ex-wife will be opened up by order of court to confirm the receipts and all payments where has been paid. We think this is a scam to raise money for whatever client, whatever destination is, and the police of Austria, my lawyers and the prosecutor of Austria will confirm every single payment through the banking system. I'm a man of deep ethics and principle. I never leave my wife, my ex-wife, my children, even my first wife alone in supporting them. My first wife can confirm she's been looked after the same, and my children. The way I look after the Keshe Foundation is the way I look after my family. And in so many ways, whoever has started these allegations and false accusation are the people who want to split and create mayhem, deformation of character. All the telephone calls, all the messages which has been sent to us from Hawaii to Austria, to Germany, to Holland, to United States, through China, all has been put directly to the police of Austria, and they confirm this is a scam in trying to collect money and deformation of character. The source will be clearly identified, and the people behind it and the people who supported this scam and now sending all these messages around the world will be prosecuted. As the Keshe Foundation is in every country of the world in different corporations, will sue you because you are damaging the name and the reputation of not only me, Keshe Foundation Austria, Keshe Foundation as a whole, and this is the way we saw the formation of character. My ex-wife, the bank accounts and the police of Austria clearly indicates in the banking system that all these payments has been made, confirmed through the banking system, and these are nothing but lies. We do not know where it started, and in due course, all these bank statements, as now they are part of the evidence to the court, to the police, and to what to come up, will be released accordingly. I never left, not even 1 second, my family and my children unattended, hungry, or whatever. She has to move from where she lives as the license of the house we rented in Austria has run out and the landlord has taken possession. And me, as usual, and my family will support her to find a new place and to accommodate, to support her for the payments of the rent, whatever it might be around the world, wherever she chooses to live. I'm a man of integrity, and these allegations by whoever has started is to come due to success of the Keshe Foundation, and the formation of character, as we've seen, has been another job which has been an outset set up by the Belgians, and now this is the second cycle we see. You have to notice, the reason we brought this into public is that one of the minors of the family of the witness to the court case has been approached and sent messages to, which is a criminal offense by sending messages to minors to affect the evidence. In so many ways, these people, whoever is sending these out, has the same mind as the pedophiles and connected to the pedophile organizations that they choose the children. And many of you might have thought that my ex-wife needs help and she's naive, she's a strong woman, and she can stand her own ground. And wherever these allegations has come out of will be investigated, and the Keshe Foundation clearly will report it. As I mentioned, every payment from the time of the separation from my ex-wife is logged by the banking system to the police and the prosecutor who will handle this case in the courts. The allegation is very grave, that it says, if I am a Messiah, if I care so much, I don't care about my life. This is, I care. And in a way, she's getting paid every comfort in her life. Even she's paid to buy wood. And secondly, the house has a full electric system that it can be kept warm. These are allegations which both me and my ex-wife deny, as our banking system confirms the receipt of every payment, and this is how we have been brought trying to use the past life to create damage for the foundation. In this case, please, we advise you, if you received any kind of communication, any kind of allegation, like whatever, please, like the ones we received from all of you, send them to Keshe Foundation info@keshe.foundation, that we hand over to the prosecutor and the police. It is important that all of you stand fast and firm and do not believe this second cycle of character assassination we see coming up, because we become successful. And in so many ways, I thank my ex-wife for her support in allowing the police to open her banking system to confirm the receipts of the funds, as the police has confirmed with the owners of the house. The rents are paid, the electricity board has confirmed the payment, and the fuel company confirms the fuel has always been there. She uses 120 liters of oil per month, and 2 months ago she was delivered 500 liters and 500 liters yesterday, even though she has to leave the house. This is how I look after not only my wife, but we promised the landlord when we leave as much fuel as we came in, and that was filled in as she's supposed to move to a new position, as the landlord wants to take possession of his property. I have to explain to you, if you hear in any shape or form, please let me know, that we can pass this immediately to Austrian police. There's a criminal investigation of scamming and defrauding others to pay to her account, false account, wherever it could be, that it damages the shape and the name of the foundation. That is on the internet. He doesn't do. We do, and both my ex-wife and I, through the opening of the bank accounts in due course to the police, as we have done. The Keshe Foundation has supplied every single statement, full where it's gone to, and she's been using the money to live, is clearly on the statements. I thank you for this, and please be careful, these people who come this way, as they have contacted the minor, they are part of the same scandals we saw with Sterling, now trying by deformation, trying to reach to your children and your wives. We know the process, and I thank my ex-wife for being open and clear and opening her bank accounts to the police to show the receipts of €2,000 per month for living expenses, without any other expenses. That all the expenses of the house has been met by me personally, and all the evidence has been supplied to the police of Austria in the past 4 days as the allegation arose, and we have shown. I thank the whole of the Keshe Foundation team who has been supporting us, and I thank my ex-wife for supporting and collaborating with the police to show the scandal and the fraud which has used her name, or maybe her communication lines, to defraud and create deformation of the character. Thank you very much indeed, and I do apologize that I have to bring this, because many of you, thousands of you across Keshe Foundation have received bombardment of these allegations, and many others in past 7 days. Rick, can we go to any question and answers, please?
Hey, very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I remind the attendees here in the Zoom chat that they can put up their virtual hands and we can allow you to speak. You see here, we do have a number of questions in the Q&A. We had one question from Freed, who's asking, can this new Keshe TV also transmit or connect plasma fields similar to the Peace Dome idea?
This is one part of it. We will show how everyone can connect to each other. We don't make a religious, like a church channel. This is a scientific channel. And scientifically we'll show a lot of things. The beauty of it is that this television channel, the teaching channel, is given to the foundation as a donation by the owners of the structure. This would have cost millions of dollars for a foundation to put together, and would have taken years. This is the generosity and the work of the Universal Council members, that they have brought this together in such a fast way. It is a gift which we have received in such a way, and we thank the what we call people who have given us this lift, and they are supporting us in every way that the programs of the Keshe Foundation can be shown on other channels across the world. The beauty of it is they have asked for nothing. All this has been given, millions of dollars of support freely, and we thank the owners personally who's been in line with us to make sure everything is done even into midnight, thus the agreement has been signed. We thank the whole of the Keshe Foundation community and the gift we have received. We have to, what we call, deliciously enjoy this gift, that now we have spread the knowledge and the share. In the coming weeks, you will see more philanthropists around the world will participate in spreading the technology and the knowledge. And the faster we all collectively work together to bring this television channel into operation and pass the message of peace through science and technology, it'll be the best. In a way, the Keshe Foundation team has done its job, and we have asked the Universal Council members who are doing all these things in the background for the foundation and through foundation, never reveal the source, who our people are, who are we working with, or you're working to accommodate. As I said, the Universal Council will serve mankind, and the foundation will be the tools of it to accommodate it. We see in the first. You will see many, many such moves from many organizations around the world with the Keshe Foundation. And this is the way we work as one nation, one planet, one race. I ask for the support of Universal Council members and their support team to rapidly structure a program of teaching in conjunction with the teaching team of the Keshe Foundation, that how they see it, they want this television channel to be used, and they have, in conjunction with the support of the Keshe Foundation, structured the management of the television channel. It has to be done. Any of you who has the experience of production, montaging, and many other things, please get in touch. We will allocate most, the what I call ITE team will put an email up, especially for the TV channel, that you can support. You made the program, you want it to be shown, and everything else. And in that process, we bring the teaching. It has to be a very high quality, that it shows everything. Ask people around you to make beautiful presentations. We need teachings in every language. It does not have to be always English. And in that process, we'll try to support all of you to use this technology, this gift to the foundation, by you the best way you can. Many of you, as I said, manufacturing things, handmade, that it supports your life. You earn a living out of it. Contract a foundation. We find a way to promote and advertise your goods, and in that process, give you a better income, better living. I open the patent for mankind to be free. We open the television channel for you to live a better life. In so many ways, the process is simple. Keshe Foundation is entering its more or less 16th year of existence and covers millions of people. Now it's time to cover the billions and move on to change the course. As I've said, it's not us, it's all of us. Even the universal community who is with us and guiding and protecting us through these terrible times. It's a terrible because a lot of us have to adjust. It's a terrible time because a lot of time us have to let the past go, and we hope the soul of mankind will be gifted with patience that we go through this transition in a safe way. Please, any experience you have, in production, in management, in running of a television channel, or making programs as producers, which we know number of knowledge seekers are, get in touch with the foundation and set a structure of the broadcasting that becomes an example of all other television and radio channels, which means we give freely, we share knowledge freely to create the condition of peace and move mankind in that direction. We do not want to become a religious group, we become a scientific organization, which with it brings the understanding of the soul of the man, where the science meets the soul of the man, where technology has to be free, accessible at every point, the man who needs it. Thank you very much. What's the next question?
Well, I wondered if you wanted to say anything else about the Russian connection. They mention, see, their name I think is Roman. Now, tell Mr. Keshe that I haven't translated his answer yet, but I will. And I thank him very much, and will definitely answer him after all I have heard. So we'll get them to contact the Keshe Foundation and have them become part of the transcribing process and whatnot there. So that's great.
The Keshe Foundation in Russia is huge. I've met many of them, but somehow they don't want to be known. We have the same thing with Turkey. Turkey's Keshe Foundation is huge. I've met with a number of them, and then we found out they were deliberately broken up. The Keshe Foundation Turkey needs to come back together again and reassemble. They're very, very hardworking people, and they were deliberately broken up by inside the Keshe Foundation. And we have learned this. We need the Turkish Keshe Foundation is massive. It's hundreds of thousands of them. They actually commercialized part of the technology in Turkey. Russians are the same. Keshe Foundation Russia is very big, but the ones we know, they're all into the scientific arena. They're all space scientists. They're all edge of the electronic scientists. And they don't want to be known outside. And this is the same pattern. We know the head of the jet propulsion of NASA for 2030 Mars mission. He's been so loyal with the foundation. Now NASA has told him any communication with me or the Keshe Foundation, he will lose his position. The governments are putting pressure on scientists. Now with this television program, we should be able to change it. We know a number of astronauts because I used to work with them. I work with the families for a lot of things they do. The most frequent astronaut in NASA is a friend of the foundation and his family. And we know the brothers, but NASA has instructed no one to communicate with Keshe till the structure of the government of United States find a solution between Iran and United States, which we hope the Biden administration is coming to an end. And this is what it is. Pardon?
I was just reading a document about that today because they have a new contest between NASA and the Canadian Space Agency. Between them, it's a mutual contest, and with the rest of the world, to produce the best way to feed astronauts in space. It's the Space Food Program. I thought, wow.
Send the link to us, we'll show them.
Well, here's the deal, though. I read through the fine print, and the deal is that you can't be associated with two of the countries of the world, Iran and North Korea, because they're considered to be on the terrorist list. Therefore, they don't allow entries from terrorists or those from the terrorist countries.
The thing is, Keshe Foundation and Mehran Tavakoli Keshe has been cleared by Homeland Security to enter the black budget projects of the United States sworn by the head of propulsion lab of NASA and signed by the public notary of NASA. So maybe there'll be an exclusion.
This would be a lovely test, and you're certainly in contention for the top prize, I would say. And if you can present, according to the rules, you could win the $500,000 prize, and so on and so forth.
I think I'll go for Moss's 100 million. It'll be easier capturing CO2.
Yes, that's right. This is a 3-year process.
That's too much.
As well.
For $500,000 is too much effort.
And you have to give them all the rights to produce it anywhere around the world, the technology that you show them. So there's a bit of fine print there, yes.
The beauty of it is that we have requested from the office of the Iranian officials in the past few days, a couple of weeks, to allow the Keshe Foundation to be established as a space organization in Iran. And we are waiting for an answer as a separate space program where we can embrace other nationalities to work with us. This has already been submitted by Keshe Foundation team to the Iranian Sepah and office of the Examining Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. We are waiting for a decision making. And we'll wait and see. It's strange that everybody is going towards the space. And we'll see who will do it. And I'm sure it'll be done collectively, not individually.
Yes, we definitely see efforts all over the world right now, it seems. So
you see, we don't have any more wars. Now they have to create a job. Let's go
find something to do with their time.
Let's get
everybody's at home, sent home, and they have to design something. So
yeah, you got to keep all these scientists busy. There is no war. There is no conflict. We have the viruses can kill the soldiers. So. And nobody's using nuclear weapons, so we have to find new jobs. New jobs comes with new science and technology.
And with new technology comes new, people have new ways that they think they might have negative forces, as well as in the question from Zoe, who's asked both in the YouTube and in the Q&A a couple of times here, so perhaps we'll bring it up. And it's associated with another question further as well. Zoe says, Mr. Keshe, thank you for bringing the technology. I love to hear your teachings. There's love and hope in it, and it touches people's soul. 3 years ago, I discovered the danger of AI and transhumanism.
What is AI?
To inform, artificial intelligence, that would be. And transhumanism would be the mixture of artificial intelligence and humans and so on, and tried to inform the world and look through the negative aliens' dark technology. And I get all kinds of attacks and harms not only me, but also people I love. And we are forced to become cyborgs. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to reduce the etheric attack. This might be a little extreme, but there are many people that feel they're being either attacked or, in their sleep, they feel entities are attacking them and so on. And this can also perhaps tie in with the other question, which was about carbon nanotubes in the environment. And how can we protect against them? Because there's people that believe they are ubiquitous everywhere in our environment, which they are. And how do we protect against that? Can we? So I don't know. There are two different realms in a way.
The carbon nano, the carbon. Sorry about that. We'll carry on.
Go ahead. No, I was saying they're two different questions, but they're kind of related in a way in that protective theme. Go ahead.
Carbon nano, gold nano, and all these nano structures have been with us and are created continuously in different layers of our atmosphere. They transform and then they become the layers of what we see on the planet, or they become part of the, as a nanostructure, plasma gans, part of the waters in the ocean and in the seas. This is how life is maintained on the Earth. These nanoparticles in certain salt condition convert into a gas, and then that gas becomes the cell of living. And so we should not be afraid of it, because we came from it. People who don't understand the technology can create fear by not understanding, and then because they create fear, they become the point of reputation and how things happen. In so many ways, there is no fear of nano, because the nanomaterials in the field strength and the inertia of the Earth and the gravitational magnetic fields of the environment changes into gases, and is the essence of life. And if they don't change, convert to gases in the oceans on an interaction with the inertia of the planet, they convert into the matter state. The sands of the desert do not boil up. The sands of the desert all come from the creation and interaction of the fields above that they fall on. Like a rain, we don't see them, but in a structured way, in different layers, they lead to creation. This is how the Earth is adding to its layer and its thickness and its dimension. It's not coming from another place to another, might do by some of the winds and hurricanes, but essentially most of the material of the Earth is created by interaction of the fields of upper atmosphere, and then interaction of those fields with the inertia, which leads to creation of the nanoparticles, that they become sometimes energy platforms for gases and life in the ocean, or they change into the matter states on the surface of the Earth. In the interaction with others, there is a lot of skepticism on what life is and could be, as those of you who are educated enough and understood life is not the exclusivity of this planet. So as now we're becoming educated to take into flights of the fancy into space, those who have done it time before us, they are here, they are with us, they are part of us as what we call the passengers of the universe. So in one way or another, we might see the physicality of the man, but in essence, we might interact with their souls that has created our physicality. In so many ways, many ways, they cover themselves to look like a man, to live like a man, and to be part of the man. I've done that for thousands of years. We move from one to another, and in time we take place, position, and time. So is those who are the travelers of the universe. We are all passengers of the time. And in so many ways, just because some people don't understand, it does not mean it does not exist. You don't need to become a cyber or come to the Keshe Foundation that people understand and believe you. It is part of the life, and part of the process of the teaching with the new television channel is to open the eye of mankind and humanity in the truth about life in the universe. And as I said, one day we might make the fish tank that one day we can show you. My hope is that in the coming time, as we have developed the vertical process of the Universal Enhancement Unit, will create that fish tank that we can show the existence of life. It's very easy, but the knowledge of the knowledge seekers has to be to understand. And in that process, the knowledge seekers become wiser. We have seen in our research centers people trying to steal technology, trying to find out, to take out. We are aware of these things because it shows the short side of this. that are trying to understand and take technology. We give their souls to elevate. And in so many ways, those who have done this up to now, they got nowhere. In a way, betraying the knowledge of the space and what we're trying to create will bring you the demise of your own soul. And in that process, many knowledge seekers, in the process of teaching, will show you the way that you can interact with the soul of the universe. It might sound strange. You might see new colors and new shapes. You might see new flowers. But this is part of the transition of humanity into what we call universal condition and colors and shapes. You will see new dimensions and new colors. And in that process, you'll learn new things. Up to now, you knew roses. Now you will see the flowers of the universe. And you have to learn it because you've seen it, you've been there. You cannot say that it doesn't exist. It's just not a dream. It's thus universal community and dimension of new life brings you new understanding and the places to be. You had to travel to go to Niagara Falls to see the beauty of the fall. You had to go to Africa to see the beauty of the jungles, this animal. Now you travel in the dimension of the soul of the man. You see the beauty of the creation and the creator. And mankind has to become educated that is not a dream, is a being. Now I explain. And if you can feel and travel, you feel and travel with me to that point in the space. Earth has a limited places of beauty that we can go. But the universe has many. And not all will reach the point to see all of it or try to describe some of it. It comes to the point of trust and understanding as we explain where we've been, and the soul will see, understand, and appreciate. Do not consider yourself as an outsider. As your soul elevates, it finds its way to a new, what we call beauties, beautiful places and creatures of the Creator. And there's one big problem. On planet Earth, according to United Nations, we are made of over 10,000 races and divisions of. In the universe, that's the order of magnitude and more. So none of us, or all of us, will see all the same. But we have to come to trust each other that when it's explained, is not the imagination, but the knowledge of the soul of the man which has been brought to the man. And in a way, as I remember, I was told when I was young, when the first Iranian went to Russia and he saw the first plane and he came back and told the family, the Russians have a missile bird and he flies. They laughed at him, they said, it's crazy. And very short time later, these metal birds appeared on the horizons of Tehran and Iran. And then it became reality, not something somebody said. Many of us, now that we have learned the flight of fancy in the space, will understand the totality that many of us will visit many beautiful parts of the universe. We have to accept and respect the beauty we are described. It's very much, if I could explain the beauty of Avatar in China, none of you can believe. You've seen it in the movies, but when you walk that blessed land, you understand the beauty of it. I spent 2 or 3 days there, and it's beautiful, and it cannot exist. It's so beautiful that it feels like it's imagination. How could the Creator create such a beautiful place? No one can believe. Even in the movies, it looks not to be real. But when you walk in the land and you see the mountains, you smell the air, and you enjoy the beauty of Chinese being there, it gives you the life. It gives you the joy to be part of it. And then you explain, and people say it's impossible, but it is. It's the beauty which we have to carry with the memory and the knowledge and accept it unconditionally. In a way, when we look at the soul and we see the color of it, we know if it's telling the truth or not. And it's for us to be respectful. It's not the imagination. is the truth of the travel and knowledge which different souls bring with themselves in the flight of fancy in the universe. Don't be afraid. Don't become a cyber. Stay in your belief and work in the direction and understanding of. With a new blessing of the souls, many of us will see new things and new dimensions. And the beauty of it is now we have the internet and the open communication that we can describe it to the whole world what we have seen. We become and gradually live the life of man in the universe because we are part of it, we fly in it, we live within it. We denied it up to now to ourselves. Now we understand it and we are part of it. Any other question?
Okay, we've got a hand up here with Gatwa. Maybe you can go ahead and...
Can you imagine what Dr. Gatwa is going to ask us? Yes, Dr. Gatwa. Good morning.
Yes, good day, Mr. Keshe.
How is the weather in the beautiful country you live in?
Oh, it's beautiful, yes, that's for sure. And everything is well, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much. When you speak to anyone and you ask them, I want to go to Kenya, I want to go. It's a dream of everyone in the West to go to Kenya and see the wildlife. but they don't realize we live in a wilder life in the West, in the jungles of human beings than the animals.
Yes, in fact, it has, you know, in the past, some vehicles have run over people on their way to see the big five.
Yeah.
And then
yes,
they ignore the culture, which is great. It's very diverse. In any
you have
case,
a beautiful, beautiful piece of the earth, a beautiful land.
Very, very beautiful. So welcome. Welcome
Thank you
home.
very much. We tried.
Yes, and I have a question about, first of all, thank you very much for all the successes that have come through in the recent past, or everything, all the opportunities that are opening, especially ways of spreading the plasma science globally. But I'm wondering about manufacturing, which has been in the works for a long time. But of course, there has been resistance with some countries not immediately accepting due to various reasons that I don't know necessarily. So with these new opportunities, are there plans for expanding globally plasma production of goods? Manufacturing.
You got to realize Keshe Foundation invested over 2-3 million euros in the Italian production factory. And when it came to flourishing, the company and the list of customers were stolen. They wrote to the customers saying that they have moved to a new place and they took the company. And that brought a big dent in the Keshe Foundation. Then we saw the affairs in Ghana, where we invested over $1.5 million. And we saw the same faith behind it, and we know who was behind it. This was all well organized to come to this, that we paralyzed the foundation. We managed to save Austria and China. And now, in next maybe next week or the week after, the Mexico Keshe Foundation factory will go up into production. First, through one of the benefits when we bought the property is owned by the Keshe Foundation 100%. We have invested over $1 million in purchasing the factory, is owned by us. That coming into operation. The operation in Ghana is getting shipped into Nigeria, and people have been trying, and same people trying to influence Alex in different ways, and in the next couple of weeks, maybe this month, will ship all the equipment. It's over $1 billion has been spent on Ghana. The machinery paid partially in China, some in the ports, some on the ground, all be shipped to Nigeria. Nigeria becomes the main production corners for us. Austria, as a research center, will carry on, but in general, we will try to go through a new way to use the knowledge seekers to strengthen them and collaborate with different knowledge seekers to set up different companies across the world. You got to realize with the enhancement unit centers coming into operation, the retail side of the Keshe Foundation within these structures becomes very powerful. The enhancement centers will each carry Keshe Foundation product shops where people come in with their families, they buy. We've seen this happening in Linz. People buy heavily when they come, they buy every product or collection of products. So we start outletting, and these outlets needs new production. Chinese factory and Chinese team will be expanded this year. Last few days, the forecast for what it needs to be done has been drawn for 2021. You got to realize Keshe Foundation has stood very heavy hits of loss of what we call finances, deliveries set out from inside to damage. Now that has been limited. Now that has been taken over by a competent team, and now nobody can interfere with us. We'll see expansion of the Keshe Foundation, especially now with the television channel and the others which you will see. We will increase the potential of the Keshe Foundation. As many of you explained in the legal side a few minutes ago about the operation of the Keshe Foundation. Keshe Foundation, Austria, is fully 100% owned by me, and there are no partners, as everything is inside. And we show a multi-million turnover. And as a research center, all the research centers always are in loss. This is the structure of when you research, you expend a lot of money to develop. And in due course, once these researches are completed, Keshe Foundation's different factories will manufacture and their profit will show. If you have seen the way they try to explain to, what do you call it, deformation of character, let's call it, of the Keshe Foundation manufacturing in Austria, we are 300,000 in black. Last year we were more or less about the same. But we, according to the Austrian laws and regulations, we are due for refunds from research and development and many other investments we've done. So we never look to be profitable like the Keshe Foundation. Whatever we have, we spend. And a new agreement between the Keshe Foundation and Austria and China has been signed for the loan agreement. We don't borrow from outside. Keshe Foundation, the way I structured it, is vertical. We lend money, a huge amount, to Austria to be developed. At the moment, we are investing heavily in China. Now, new investment in Mexico has started. We lend money from the Keshe Foundation to our subsidiaries to develop. And when they develop, they return money back to that we can invest somewhere else. And this is the way it is. An operational company which is devoted to serve humanity, if it becomes profitable, is not good. Then we become another Microsoft, billions spent and kept and not put in the cycle. Every penny made by the Keshe Foundation, plus more borrowing from inside, is put back into Keshe Foundation factories and researchers. We trusted knowledge seekers, and we got betrayed by those who were not knowledge seekers, and they came in and they took the Keshe Foundation. You got to realize the damage we stood in Italy. Because I paid for 2 years ahead for rent. Nobody does what I did, because the management of the company has to be at peace to run. I paid 2 years rent ahead in Italy for the factory that they can run. What did they do? We spent, the whole of the Keshe Foundation team brought the products in. We built up the sales to tens of thousands, and then somebody from inside the Keshe Foundation, by betraying it, and those who were in the foundation work, they start telling people that the Keshe Foundation has changed place, and they took all the customers and all the technology. We bless their souls. But we have opened a criminal case in Italy for those who have done this to us, in a way taking customers from us. That money which we invested was supposed to create funds that more factories could be opened. And that's why in this position. The people who took the Keshe Foundation, with the evidence we have, we've been told they spend a long term in prison. It's deliberately, they have brought the company by stealing from it, and they're sending messages to the customers that we have changed new warehouse and the name, and it's very clear deception. We have opened a criminal case, and we've been told by the Italian lawyers we will get the whole of the Keshe Foundation to the investment, and the 3 people in charge will be in prison. I have taken guarantees of surety from the lawyers in Italy, because it's very clear how they've done it. This is where the finances went. The same with what we saw in Ghana. We trusted knowledge seekers, but we got betrayed by knowledge seekers. It's the weakness of the man, but we are strong enough. We've seen it. It's very hard to create 20, 30, 40,000 sales a month, because you have to have the products, and the knowledge seekers bought, didn't get delivered, we had to transfer, and then they took the customers to themselves. All the, what we call the agency we set up, they did the same. They told them that it's moved, and they didn't tell them they were stolen the Keshe Foundation. And this is a criminal offense. This time, the foundation works in a different way. And we trust us all, but we secured the structure that this cannot be repeated. And we have put a rigorous management team in to look after what's coming in. We work with the trusted people. We see people in our research labs who are trying to steal technology, but we watch them. We don't do anything to damage them, but in due course we put them in prison of their souls, and they will understand what it means. You don't steal technology when it's on the table to be done. It belongs to humanity. We see this in some of our research centers, and in so many ways we are aware, but the punishment will come with their own soul, not with us. We invest around the world in a very systematic way in 2021. Our position is very clear. The heads of the Keshe Foundation have a structure. I've seen them in the past few days forecasting how they want to do it and the way they're going to do it. We have a strong IT in the background. We have all the management team, solid, what we call researchers, and you will see new products. And the beauty of it is now with the television channel, we bring the knowledge seekers who develop the technologies to be umbrellaed by the foundation, that it gives them better life. They can sell better. They can advertise in their local language, and allows them to become what we wanted, a better life. We invest. And as I said, I'm in the lab developing that. With it, it can bring comfort, and if it brings financial rewards for humanity and for a foundation to build factories in Kenya and other places, it'll be a pleasure. We hit a wall, and as the head of the Keshe Foundation, I accept it was my fault. I trusted people, and the whole foundation got betrayed by the people who we trusted.
Mr. Keshe, I don't believe that was your fault. Trusting is still good, regardless of betrayal. It's the fault of those who betray. But in any case, I know for certain that Kenya welcomes investment from any quarters.
Well,
The problem may only have been, the signing of a document prior to setting up. Would that be changed somehow?
The beauty of it is we have engaged in a very near past organizations who can do these things for us. We can't do these things ourselves. We have engaged structures to be able to do these things for the foundation. We are looking forward to a massive collaboration and cooperation with some of the major world nations in the coming weeks. We have to go through 21st of March and beyond, and everything is getting set up for it. The reason we are not on the television, people don't accept, Now that we have received this television channel as a gift from the knowledge seekers and all the support of it they are giving to the foundation freely, it brings us to people seeing to believe. We're not on the internet anymore. Anybody can refer them to the television channel, and people, when they see on the television, they believe, and we start establishing. I look forward to our friend in Golden Age of GANs to encourage the knowledge seekers who come to report it, and to Rick to make a visual presentation of how they have improved, what they've created, and what benefit they've seen. In the Keshe Foundation television, we are not afraid of explaining how they have, whatever processed themselves, because we put it as a news. We put it in a cover of the news and research and new development. In a way, we have a much freedom to explain the truth about the technology. And that brings new investment. We have seen a number of organizations around the world who want to talk, who want to develop, who would like to pay the foundation for its knowledge, even though it is not patented. It's very unusual. I can read you a message we received from a very large organization in past few days. The director of the company says, you have opened your patent to humanity. We would like to have the right to produce your material on the permission of the foundation, to pay for it, even though you don't have a patent, but the knowledge is yours. It's a very unusual for corporation to make such a move to any new technologies. It is beautiful to see this. This is what I always said, respecting your knowledge without patents. And this is what we see. And this is the beauty of it. People are learning are with us. I'll read it for you. I'm aware you have published the patent for benefit of universe. However, I also can imagine you are also a business person. We would love to license it for 10 to 20 years. Yeah? This is, and it's very clear, it's for commercial gain. People are learning to respect the way our belief is, and with it comes a lot of other things. And this is how it should be. They know we have, is our knowledge, and they know we have no patents given to humanity, but they want to develop it internationally and still come to us. They don't just develop it themselves and walk away with it. This is how it should be, and this is how knowledge should be respected. And we see it now in 2-3 communications in the recent past from major corporations. They know, the directors understand the ethos, and they want to be correct.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. I very much look forward to all the new developments. And of course,
from now on, it's going to be very rapid.
Yeah, I very much look forward to that.
Thank you very much for
indeed,
your... By the way, Dr. Gatwa,
Yes.
Try to make videos of your agriculture. Speak to John, to Jim in Australia. Speak to, if I'm correct, one of the ministers, agricultural ministers used to be part of the students, and create videos for agriculture that we can put on the television channel. You're the head of the agricultural side with Jim. Create videos that can explain your teachings, can explain your processes in Kenya, and with Jim and the others, like our friends in Canada and other agricultural trials which are done in Iran. We need to push the agriculture very heavy in the television, that the farmers can see and they get benefit by it.
I'll do my best, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed. Any other question? Are we getting near to our borderline? Nope.
Okay, let me see here. We've got another hand up with Carl. Not sure, Carl, you don't have a last name, but someone new, I think, here.
Yes.
If Carl can...
Be ready. If it's nonsense, switch it off.
we never know here. We are live, real time. And it's always been that way, too, all through these Knowledge Seekers workshops. So we never
Very
know
few
quite.
people we have had to shut, huh?
It's been very, very seldom, actually, when you consider it. A lot more trouble at the beginning than in the later workshops, I would say. Carl, ask you to unmute through the thing here and see if you can do that, or indeed if your hand was up deliberately.
Check one, check one.
Hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Keshe, or as I've been known to say, Mr. Totality.
Yeah, can I ask you who you are? Where are you from? It's our tradition to introduce ourselves.
That is right. I'm just about to report in. It's Carl from Melbourne, Australia.
You sound
I have
like
spoken
it.
to you once or twice before, but yeah, I just thought I'm pulling my hair out we're seeing with the cups that the role of nano zinc is becoming more and more important. And I need a refresher on how to perfect the hot caustic of zinc, because I must say I'm struggling.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when I pull it out, it's sort of covered in a bit of white paste. It doesn't. I'm not really confident that I'm doing a good job with my nano coating of the zinc. And my father's Alzheimer's is creeping ahead, so I really need to get my act together on it.
What will be interesting depends what you do with it. We're not giving you a health teaching. What is interested, what you do with it. Many of you will make ganses, but you do not know how to use it. This is the problem. Your ganses are perfect, doesn't matter how you nano-coated it. It's just understanding what you need to do in a proper manner to create a condition of interaction with any environment. When you produce ganses, if you're using it for a human structure, or you're using for animal structure, or using for plants, or if you're using it for even a solid, in a coming time, many of you will create ganses which shows you the beauty of stones, because we can touch the soul of the atom, and there are different manifestation to it. It's the same with a man. It's the same with the ganses. As we say in English, horses for courses. Learn life in life of the man, and life on this planet has three facets: earth, wind, and fire. Yeah? Earth is your solid body. Yeah? Wind is the air you take. Fire is the light of your soul. And you have to nourish the tree for this planet to exist. You have to do the same with anything. If you are watering a plant, if you are seeding a seed, you can't just put a zinc and CO2 and let it go. Where is your connection? CO2 and zinc are a matter state connection. What did happen to your amino acid, which created from it? That's your line of interaction with the body of the plant. When you're making to feed a plant, when you put the CO2 and Zn in it, you have to put the amino acid of CO2 and Zn in it, that it can interact with the plant. If you want to take cancer out of a plant, which plants get cancer same as human does, you never put the amino acid of CO2 in it because you encourage more of it. You put the amino acid of the zinc in it. How you play is important. But then the same, you water the plant. That's the physical side. Now you have to control its environment, the air it breathes. Now you have to make the same system in allowing that the oxygen going into plant to be taken in connection with the amino acid. Then you have done twice the two things. Where is the fire? You have to elevate the soul of the plant. Where is the soul of it? How do you do it? You drank the water, you breathe the air to it. You understand? Now you have to cover itself. You consume the water for the physicality. You put the water on the body of it, and now you inhale it, that it touches the soul of the man, touches the soul of the plants. This is what, when I developed this technology, was everything had to be together. We are made of three structures: the water of this planet, from the air of this planet, from the soil of this planet. And we have our bodies made of the three. And when we touch it, be it the plant, be it the animal, be it us, we have to cover all three. That's why we always say a breathing system. Without the breathing system, how can you change the life of a plant which you cannot reach its soul? In that breathing system, do you need to use different gases or gases you produce in a different way? That's why I showed you the cup of life with the soul of the man. You take water from the cup of soul of the plant, because now you elevate the soul. You don't take the cup of physicality. You have to learn how to play. And then even when you use the cup of the soul, you have to use the amino acid of the cup of the soul to connect to the man. You don't put a system and walk away. You let the man hold the breathing system of it. You attach it to the tree. You'll see the life is different. If you're doing, replicating, do all of it, not part of it. The tree will finish with its forgiveness and will grow. It'll bring back the memories into it and will grow. And then you will see a beautiful tree. You cannot just, we see it, and say it doesn't work, because you forget the what little touches that it brings the beauty, it brings the completion. Many of you try a lot of things. If you're watering the plant and using calcium, you create a gans of calcium. You need the amino acid of calcium to be there to connect to the plant. Otherwise, it's just a matter, it's another soil on it. %90 of you people fail in seeing the beauty in what you do because you forget the essence of the creation, which comes from the interaction of the amino acid. Be it in the water, be it in the environment, be it in the physicality. And this is what you have to understand. You have no, as I say, no choice. And the next step is in the knowledge, how to create the energy balance of the amino acid, that you don't need gases anymore. We come to that level of understanding when you all become wise. I hope I answered you in a very indirect way, but when we go to the television channel, I'll tell you exactly what you're going to do. There is no restriction.
So just to reiterate then, so you're saying that
I love your Australian accent, yeah.
In a way, the intention overrides whether the zinc comes out cloudy with a
It doesn't matter. Don't look at the
caustic
cloudiness.
coating of it.
Don't look at the color of the caustic. Don't look at the color of your ganses. Understand the field energy. The color is different because the environment reinforces that color, but in essence, it's still the same thing. You understand?
Yes. That's good. That gives me a bit more confidence because it's much easier nano coating copper. You can see that you've done the job, but with zinc, there's a bit of mystery.
Man is too physical. You have to see it to believe it.
Yeah. Well,
if you nano coat, you'll reach it. Don't worry. Put it this way.
Now,
if you take no, I'm going to stop you. If you take that the nano coated plate and put it in the salt water with another zinc and you produce gases, it means you are right. If you put it in there and you don't produce gases and change the environment and still don't produce, go and re-nano coat. You got to understand, if your intention has been to help your father and you're doing it with the love of your father, it means that plate is what he needs, not what you want. You understand?
Yep. Okay.
You
very
put
good.
it in there. You put it in there with the love you have for him and his soul and your soul, in conjunction with the soul of the metal, which is there to help him. It says this is what the recipe is. Don't enforce your will. Understand you're part of the system. When you live your trust in the knowledge and understanding it, understand it's not just you. It's not just the intention. Even the metal has a soul. And in their understanding the need of your father gives you what you need. What are you fighting for? But do you have a doubt in what you do? This is what is needed. Use this amino acid, use this the plate, and do your job. But remember all of it. Go back to Indian word, always say. Indians say, Neem Hakim Khatarijan. Neem means half. Hakim is doctor. John is wooden, body, life. It says the doctor knows half of it is dangerous to life because he can't do all of it and he can kill you. Yeah? In plasma technology, you don't need to kill anybody because they find balance for it. But you have to learn, as I said in the beginning of the teaching, let the fields decide the products and what benefit you're going to see from it. And just because you don't see doesn't mean it's not the right one. I said once to a priest, pardon?
Oh, it's like standing in front of a dynamic reactor and all of a sudden you feel the fields working on your brain, for example. I had a problem with mobile phone radiation and standing in front of Gil's dynamic reactor system there. It was incredible. I felt my brain being massaged and it just went there automatically without me even having an intention to fix a problem I've had for 20 years since using those huge mobile phones in the early 90s. So yeah, the fields do find a way.
In a way, if you don't have any feeling, as I always say, when you stand in front of a system, it means you don't need it. When you're not hungry, you don't eat. When your body has no interaction, it means it doesn't, maybe has subatomic, some molecular interaction for some knickknacks to be touched and corrected. But if you don't feel it, it means you don't need it. When we use the gases for corona in Iran, when you put it on the chest and the corona is not on the chest, you have no reaction, but you put the corona on the liquid on the stomach and you get the pain. Now we know where it is. And it's the same. If your body has a deficiency, it'll show you the point of interaction. Don't bandage a head when you have no headache. Don't take an aspirin when there is no pain. And it's the same. If the body doesn't need it, it doesn't take it. And a lot of knowledge seekers says,
I had one other question.
Yeah, just let me finish one thing, please. A lot of knowledge seekers go and stand here. I don't feel anything. It means you are not short of. You have what you need. So never, when you stand in front of or use the gases and you feel no different, it means you're good. When you feel the pain or you feel the movement, you feel the energy, means there was some need for it to be done. Carry on, please.
Okay, so we understand the magnetic gravitational center of the Earth keeps us in a beautiful orbit around the solar system. There's also recognition of magnetic ley lines through the Earth. And
Yes.
Now some of us have had ganses around for 4 or 5 years. We're well in tune with those fields. We cannot actually feel them. And sometimes I wonder whether they're still working. But my question for you is, if I was to carry it to a different location and find a ley line, would the fields have a different interplay in that location? And is there any sort of exercise you could recommend to explore that potential?
Many people have tried this and they say the field has moved. The field hasn't moved in a way, or maybe I can explain to you, it has moved because you created a new field. So the field has to move to adjust itself in its environment. It's not a river fixed, it's a flow which can change direction. It has no physicality. And maybe if you move your ganses to a new location and come back, you feel now the line is back. These lines are like what we see at the end of the magnets, the flow of the iron dust, and some of us feel it, and some of us have a strength, at the strength of our amino acid of iron, or the inertia of the position to feel it, and some of us don't do. And yes, you can move it, it will change, but maybe where you started it, where you moved it from, will go back to it and you can feel it back there again. With these systems, you mainly interact with the field flow interaction of the magnetic of the planet and the inertia. That's why they find the tracks. You see it like a river. Do you understand? We see this on the surface of the sun, how the lines appear. It's the same thing. But there is liquid, here is solid. We can't see the interaction fully. But if we have a special systems who can see the aura of the Earth, you will see these lines from above. Move it to a new position and go back to where it was and see after a few weeks or months you feel it back again. Unless it becomes permanent flow, you change it permanently. It's like you change the position of a river. They usually go back to the same position.
My best detection of fields has been cutting up a coat hanger and holding them in 2 hands as a dowsing rod, and standing about, the fields were about 1.5 meters away from my dynamic reactor that was working. One of my issues I have is I would love to have 3 or 4 short, sharp demonstrations I can show people that makes them recognize that this is, something serious. Because some people I've taken them through a tour of the tasting and the reactors and the ganses, and they don't feel anything. Maybe they're in perfect health, but what are the short tests you do to show people the power of the fields?
There are different ways. One of the best ways, if you have dynamic system, we were discussing this yesterday in the lab with the researchers, with the Keshe Foundation team. And you have a dynamic systems, and put two dynamic system and a glass of water or jar of water, and change the liquid in your bowls, and show how the pH changes, or if you have the field detector, how the current flow within the field changes. You understand? In some of original tests I used to do to see the effect of, I used to get a piece of meat and see how my fields will change the meat. You understand? And you can show it. In China, when we did the test, the special test, we put meat in different condition and position with different ganses, and we saw which one was rotting faster, which one was not rotting faster, which one was lasted longer, and everything else. I did this for years. I created a condition, I said before, I took a spinal cord of a sheep in Tehran, and I processed it, and I left it in the open shelf in a open plate. It's like a soup bowl for months. And every time scientists came or people came to see me, they asked, how is it? I said, look, it's not rotting, it's still there. And in the open, if you leave a nerve or piece of meat, it rots things. For 2 or 3 months, it was there, because I changed the environment of it, that it was happy to be in. To use a dead nerve, a spinal cord, to me is life. I respect it, because it's a collection of life. And this is what you got to do. It's very simple. It cannot be any simpler. Show them with alkaline measurement, how you change it. There are other ways to show in a way by creating waves. Many knowledge seekers don't understand this, but if you create the right condition in magnetic flow in a cup, you see waves created on top of the cup. You switch your machine off, the wave stops. No connection, even on a different table. And if you get the combination right, then the beat is a magnetic field pressure changing in the water. You see wave, you see the water start moving, and you stop it, and it stops. It depends what they want to see. The more magic you show, the more you'll not be believed. They want to see more.
It's certainly a story.
It is. It is.
Yeah, well, I like the sound of the waves. That's a good one. I'll try that. I'll try the pH. And then the field detector. What is your best field detection device?
Field detections use liquid, thick liquids, so some with the metal, and you can show the current flow. When I showed, this is a very special way, not many people can do. When I showed this in Samsung lab in South Korea about 12 years ago, the Samsung family opened all the labs. I had no limitation. I could go into their secure secret labs, power. They have a, what they call plasma power research lab in Samsung. That is as top secret and locked up as anywhere. I went there with the scientists to do some of the work to show the power of the plasma. and I show them exactly the way I told you, but you have to understand what you're doing. If you can harvest it, you can harvest it megawatts. But mankind is not ready for this kind of flow, because that's the only way we absorb energy in the universe. And in matter state, you can create the waves with it. That's the best way to see. You see it now. And then they say, oh, it's a rotation of the ball. This is, can you make an animal appear in it? And then you bring a dog up and say, oh, it's too small. Can we have an elephant in the cup? And it's not too small. Can you bring the moon in the cup? And the rest of it. Then you become a magician.
Well, I must say, Gans, has been fantastic to solve the blepharitis in my eyes. I had a twisted ankle that never healed for 20 years, but a health pen did wonders there. And I tried a system that Eric from Denmark, who we never hear of anymore, but he was on one of Lisa and Jimmy's teachings, who gave us a great tip on fuel efficiencies, which proved rather effective on my old car. So, yeah, all power to you, and thanks very much for everything you're doing.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. We cover all over the world. As I always said, knowledge never been shared so freely and openly. And so many people benefit by it in such a short time. Any other questions? Shall we call it a day?
Definitely getting quite close here, Mr. Keshe. We've got two of our Universal Council knowledge seekers with hands up here, Dean and Stefania. So perhaps we can allow them to say what they need to here.
Thank you, Rick. Good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. It's Dean here. Can I ask you to just to elaborate a little bit more on the new TV channel? Will this channel be in a plasmatic condition, or will it be in a matter state condition, broadcasting over a conventional system?
A matter state, conventional. Well, I don't want to explain. Oh, no, I don't want to say anything. We keep it the way you understand it.
Okay.
What pleases you will be that.
So will there be satellite around the nation?
No, you can. No. It's much easier. You don't need a satellite dish. You reach it through your telephone. Or you download the apps, or you can go directly into. You just need to download an app, and you enter the system. It will be explained. The IT team, as we called for meetings of groups today, tomorrow, they set it up. I'm totally ignorant into these things. I prefer to work in the plasma state, and teaching and management and the setup of a new setup for the television. They will explain in the coming weeks. But it's free, and anybody can reach it with one app on your mobile phone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I understand that. For me, it's like the empty box of the universe. The TV and the phones and everything have this amazing capacity for human beings to experience communication. And I think by tapping into the matter state in that way, as you said, we will be able to reach across. So thank you for that, Mr. Keshe.
We hope.
And I think with a wish and intention, we'll be able to intensify this as well. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
I hope so too. Thank you very much. Who's next?
We have Stefania.
Good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. It's not me, it's the knowledge seekers. who would like to make a questions. So
Yeah.
I would like, yes. Sandro, do you want to speak? Vuoi parlare, Sandro? E poi io traduco? Aspetta che ti alzo il volume. Fai la domanda che mi hai fatto.
Allora, innanzitutto, buongiorno Mr. Keshe, che sono molto onorato di parlare con lei.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. I'm really honored to speak with you.
La mia domanda è questa. Quando si passerà a un livello superiore e quindi lasceremo il corpo fisico, ricorderemo l'esperienza della vita passata qui sulla Terra?
So the question is, when we will pass away to a higher level and we will leave our physical body, we will remember all the experience that we done in the past in the earth.
What do you mean?
Cosa vuol dire? He's saying if we will remember, if we have a past, so when we are elevating ourselves and we go to the next level.
Why do you need a memory? Is engraved in the field the strength. How do you want it is there?
Ha detto che perché vuoi la memoria? È lì, l'impronta di quello che hai fatto è là, è improntato nei tuoi campi di forza.
What we've seen with those who have...
Aspetta. Mr. Keshe, what you saying?
I said what we've seen with those who left this planet, many of them don't want to remember most of what they saw and they lived here.
Molte persone che hanno lasciato questo pianeta, molti di loro non vogliono ricordare quello che hanno fatto qua.
Maybe you would love to remember the beauty of your children and the impression they gave you to elevate your soul. That's what you will carry.
E magari tu ti vorrai ricordare la bellezza dei tuoi figli e quello che ti hanno dato, e quello rimarrà con te, sì.
No, io quello che vorrei ricordare è tutte le esperienze, le conoscenze che ho avuto qui nell'ambito della natura, degli animali, di conoscere tutta la creazione.
He said, I really would love to remember all the experience I had in Earth of the nature, of the animals. I would like to, remember all the beauty of Earth.
It depends on you. You carry the impression of it. The memory is a different thing. You carry the strength of the fields of the impression, and that the memory, the way you talk, doesn't exist.
Lui sta dicendo che praticamente tu ti porterai con te l'impressione che tu hai fatto sui tuoi campi di forza. La memoria non esiste, è una illusione, però tu ti potrai portare con te l'impressione che le tue esperienze hanno fatto sui tuoi campi, sul tuo plasma, immagino, sì.
L'altra domanda era sulle coppe.
Another question was about the cups.
Se sono influenzate dalle fasi lunari.
If they have influenced by the moon, the phase of the moon.
Every field on this planet and beyond will interact with your cups. There is no exclusion.
Ha detto che qualsiasi campo magnetico, campo di forza interagiscerà con le tue coppe. Nessuno è escluso.
Va bene, grazie tante, grazie di tutto l'insegnamento che ci dai.
Thank you a lot for all your teaching. This man, Mr. Keshe, is quite new to the knowledge seeker, Sandro, and he's very into the agriculture. So it's very good with...
Just tell him grazie mille. I hope.
Grazie mille. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Keshe, the only other thing that's kind of, we have other questions, of course, and we have Salome with a hand up here, and I think she wants to offer to read the Russian part of that letter that we had, if that's okay.
Yep.
Let me see if that's what she wants to do here. Let's allow her to go ahead and see what she has in mind. And I can put the letter up again if that's the case. Hello, Salamia?
Yes. Okay,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes.
I receive only 4 lines. It's okay. I think the letter is bigger, but in my messenger is like this. But I will translate. I will read.
Oh, if you don't have all of it, don't read it. Read it next time.
Next time? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, but I can start now.
No, well,
No,
they has to have the full essence of, please.
Okay, I'll do next time. Okay, it was pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Shall we call it a day?
I think we need to wrap things up here. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for today. I think many of you were waiting for this development in the Keshe Foundation, that no government can stop us to go forward, to share knowledge, no restriction, as long as we keep within the laws of the European community. We can now explain many things as scientific journal as we have in scientific programs. And many of you who've done the research, write to us, we invite you in and explain what you have done scientifically. We give you air to be heard. There is one wish I have from all the knowledge seekers. By we letting you to explain your whatever in respect to development of the GANS technology, stay humble and don't become arrogant. Because when you become arrogant, you lose the knowledge. We've seen many knowledge seekers who showed or came one or twice and then they lost themselves. And this shows the souls are not mature. Stay positive and help us to help humanity with this new development. And again, my thank goes to the owners of the organization which have offered the television channel, the education side, and allowing the Keshe Foundation to be supported financially by advertising and selling. And I thank the members of Universal Council who made this possible, and the knowledge seekers who we touched some times ago, and now we have seen the fruit of the trust in technology and knowledge. The same with other organizations and knowledge seekers who accommodate us to teach more. I hope we have brought a line of understanding for the mother from Russia, many of us, to understand our own soul. And on the other hand, I hope those of you who were cheated and defamed by this scandal which is running in the background, now you understand the truth. And you support the Keshe Foundation in essence and not with the lies which has been put up by those who try to discredit me and my ex-wife. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. And do we have any other announcements before we wrap up here? Other than we do have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up on Tuesday of next week at 4 p.m. Central European Time as usual. And it's the same Zoom channel as we have here for the Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you, everybody, for attending the 366th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, February 4th, 2021. Thank you, Mr. Keshe, as always, for yet another workshop here, and we look forward to next week's presentation. Okay, bye for now, everyone.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. KesheFoundation.org/donate